Welcome. You're listening to the 27th Hour with Junior
and Dre Rocker.
Get ready, strap in, and hang on.
Hey, welcome to the club, bud. Okay, we're on the right track. Like, so you good? You guys find the game. I don't know.
Welcome back to the show.
Episode 24. Shout out Ryan Rally Trucking. Again, thanks for being our sponsor, man. We appreciate you. Longtime sponsor, hopefully forever sponsor. So what's up, Ryan Rally? Callie Rose.
Hey.
Episode 24. Thanks for coming on our show, man.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. I'm so
Dude,
excited.
You have no idea.
There's nothing like talking about what I do.
And I love what you do. First things first, thanks, Dre Rocca, for everything you do for me. I love you, man, for realsies. We couldn't do without that guy. This guy puts it all together.
Good. And
the beautiful wife. She's always the boss, too. But the show is about Callie Rose. You haven't even told Dre what you do. I'm excited.
No.
Send it to the world, because I'm excited to hear you are the only female
Fire Warden.
Damn. Fire Warden. She's the only female fire warden in the state of Utah.
Yes.
Maybe more than the state of Utah.
We haven't found that out yet. It's just something that I want to see
That's
how many
fucking cool.
actual female fire wardens are actually out there, but I am the only one in the state of Utah.
Dude, that's fucking cool. I think it's cool as hell.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely, because I still get my nails done, but
You would never know looking at you. You're a
No.
boss. What does it take to be a fire warden? What does that even mean? What is the...
it takes a lot of patience and leadership.
So a firefighter at the core,
Mm-hmm.
go through all that shit, and then you end up being the boss.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as a warden, you're in charge of a crew and you're in charge of a scene of a fire. There's different types of fires, right? So it depends on how big it is and how many resources are on that fire determines the type of fire. So right now I am just a qualified type 5, which means I don't order any additional resources like a helicopter, a big tanker. Now I can go out and fight any of those fires, but I can't be in charge of one. I am working right now to get all those qualifications, so I can, which means I can go to like the big Nevada fires, I can go to the California fires, and I can actually command all of those.
They want you to stay where you are then.
For right now, yeah. So this past summer, I was able to go out and actually fight some of like the Tooele fires out there in Utah County, which opened my eyes to a whole new world. I've been a firefighter for a couple of years now, but I've never been out there on a huge open wildfire. So
Fucking scary, dude.
it is at times. And I haven't been in this situation yet, but I've talked to several guys who they pretty much say, my life's over. Because they don't know how they're going to get out, but they do.
Because they're like surrounded by it.
If there's so much that goes into fire behavior and what you have to watch out for, that if you aren't constantly looking, you can be dead.
Of what it's doing and what the wind's doing, what everything, just everything.
Yeah, we have what's called lookouts. And so they're so many miles outside of the fire and they're watching weather. So they constantly do a weather check, like every half hour, every hour, depends on what the weather is. So if you can clearly see that a storm is coming in, you're going to want to probably do it every 15 minutes or half an hour. Because that wind changes even 2 to 4 miles an hour, that fire could be headed in the opposite direction and in a blink of an eye. And you've got men out there that don't know. And so then they get caught.
You're relaying to them what's up.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really important to, with my job as a leader, to watch out for my crew. In any situation, whether it's a type 5 like I am now, or it's a type 1 where you have 100 different resources out there. You've got 300 crews working a fire.
So you could potentially be in charge of that many people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, when it gets to at least a type 3 fire, you have a whole group that helps you out. So you have a person that's in charge of all the planning, logistics, the finance part of it, the like objectives. There's a lot that goes into all of that. So you have what's called the IC, which is the incident commander, and they're in charge of the whole scene. And then under them, it breaks down. So then you have, you know, your logistics, and under the logistics, he might have a crew, like a team. And then under your planning, same thing.
This is for something huge.
At least a type 3.
Type 2. Okay, type 3. 1 through 5.
There's 1 through 5.
Okay.
So type 5 being just like an itty bitty little fire
so
that
it goes the other way then. 5 is not okay.
Yeah. Yeah. 5's just itty bitty, and then you got your type 1s that you're talking
What's itty
like.
bitty? Just give me an itty bitty. What the hell would that be?
Oh gosh, itty bitty.
Stupid barrel type stuff like we've talked, or
No. A type 5 would be anywhere from
like a shed.
like say, I don't know, a quarter of an acre.
That's fucking huge.
Well,
I would be scared to
That's
death.
like kind of tiny to us. So
Yeah.
But and then it can go up to, I don't know, it could be 20 acres plus, but it depends on the resources you order in.
Gotcha.
So a type 5, you can rely on just say my little county of Morgan, and my crews can handle it. After a type 5 and you go into your type 4, you're going to start to delegate the fire, which means you're going to get the state involved. So they're going to bring in additional resources like the BLM. They might bring in a small helicopter, you know, to drop so many gallons of water on it. When you get up to your type 3s, that's when you bring in your big tankers. And a tanker can hold up to 8,000 gallons.
Tanker in the sky?
Yes, like a big airplane.
Drop. Is that the red fire retardant?
Yep, that's the retardant
stuff.
Yep. One of those can hold about 8,000 gallons.
It's gone like that.
Just like that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it can get scary too, because they call it painted. You get painted by one of those, it can kill you. Because it's so heavy. Mm-hmm.
What is it? What is it?
It
like
is.
A big
it's
dusty,
like a powder.
Yeah.
It's like a powder that turns into
like
a
stuff
liquid.
in a one that you have in your house that's C, Class C or whatever that dust
That's
is called.
foam. That's more of a foam. The extinguisher, the fire extinguishers, those are more like a foam.
Okay.
The retardant is just a liquid powder form. It's kind of hard to explain without feeling it.
Like flour.
Kind of. Yeah. It just turns into a liquid form. And it paints.
It will
That's what they call
suffocate
it.
your ass.
Mm-hmm. It's so heavy that it can kill you.
So you got to be careful when you're dumping that shit. That's
a huge responsibility as a tanker or a pilot, you know, even for a helicopter that's carrying, say, 500 pounds of water, you know, in those little, can't think of what they're called right off the bat, but they're little carriers that they have. That's about 500 pounds of water.
Yeah.
You get, you know, and it's not like they just drop over like a spread. That thing drops.
All in one big.
All in one. Yeah.
That's not going to kill nobody.
It can.
Can it? Well, I guess maybe it could. That's a lot of water.
That's a lot of water.
That's true.
Yeah. So a tanker, they can make it so it kind of spreads within, say, a quarter of a mile, half a mile, just depending on how much they're carrying. But when you paint something, that's actually, you can actually lose your job for that.
There's too much going into this. I would be.
I know. And that's something you have to watch out for.
You don't really.
You know, as a leader, when you are an IC on these fires, you have to be in charge for not only the safety of your crew, but any bystanders that are out there watching this fire. So a tanker comes through, and you're corresponding with them as far as coordinates and where to drop. Where is the safest place to drop?
You're making this call from the ground, though?
Yes.
You're not even in the air where you need a bird's eye view of everything.
No. So now on the side of that, there is a small, like 2-seater plane that goes around ahead of these tankers, and they circle around the fire to see exactly the coordinates of where it's spreading to, right? So then they correspond and talk to the tankers or the helicopters as well as the ground crew. So it's communication everywhere. And you get one coordinates wrong, you're putting somebody's life in danger.
Right.
This one fire that I was on, about a month ago, it was just a small fire. The police chief, I believe it was, and his truck got painted. And he kind of laughed about it, but it was a big deal because that could have hurt somebody.
Right.
So they're trying to, and then it goes in under an investigation to see who was in the wrong. Was it the pilot? Was it the ground crew?
Spot?
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it ruin the car? Does it
Yes.
just fucking destroy it?
Yes. So it can blow out windows.
Oh, Jesus.
It can dent your hood. And you can't get that shit off.
It looks just like dot. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I see it all the time doing power line stuff.
Yeah.
We deal with you guys directly a lot doing our power line stuff. In fact, there's a funny shirt going around. I don't know if you've seen it. Even firemen need heroes.
Yeah,
It's got a
we
lineman
do.
climbing a pole. Because we have to say it's safe to do it. I'll even back that up with a story real quick. In Salt Lake City. Yeah. Anyway, Salt Lake County was involved in the fire. And I won't say names. The guy that got there, the response, there was deaths involved. It was a big deal. Fuck, this was a big deal. You may have heard this story. This is where the shirt originated from. Very, very close friend of mine was in charge of what happened here as a troubleshooter. He got to the scene. The firemen were already there. It was in a kind of a backyard kind of scenario. I don't claim to know every detail. I wasn't there. But a backyard kind of scenario, transformer back, behind a house. They got there. The firemen had their goddamn ladder truck thing stung out clear over the house, and we're just feet away from grabbing this guy. The man I know very well that died, 2 people died in that. They were up there cooking from our stuff. Nothing to do with fire. There was no fire. It was electrocution. And these firemen they were going to grab him. It would have killed everybody. They would have killed everybody on that rig, whatever your truck is called. I don't know the word, the engine, whatever it would be. It's bad, man, when that stuff comes energized or whatever. My guy, I should say his name. He got there right as they were just about to get to these 2 young men that both lost their lives. They were already dead. Just up there cooking. Unfortunately, happens all the time. And he's freaking out at these fire guys to get back. The circuit is still energized. We don't need more casualties. And there was like a pissing match there for a minute. Like, hey, we got to get these guys down. He said, if I get that out of the air and do it now, I'll have everybody's job. Like, you guys need to get out of the air. Until I tell you to go up there, you cannot go up there. So anyway, it's just scary, man. Like, you don't know who, what, when. These fire guys they're doing their thing. They're trying to save lives, and but we got to make sure that circuit's de-energized, right? Or every one of you is toast, and then we got to rescue you as well. So he de-energizes the circuit. He rescues his own men. Then the firemen do their thing. So anyway, so as a journeyman lineman, I don't do it now. Since I haven't done it for a while now, doing just the tattoo thing. But that was a few years before I quit. Anyway, that happens all the time where we get kind of crossed up with fire where you can't just go up there and start spraying our shit, man. Like,
right.
It's scary. So yeah, you guys would have to coordinate with us, with our dispatch, with whomever.
Yes.
But I hope they know that. You guys know that, especially these big ones. I build these cool things, mock little, whatever you call them. I don't know, smaller. If you spray water at that, we got a problem.
Right.
We got a problem.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know if they know that. I'm sure they do.
And the other side of my job is I also do structure side of the fire, which means like buildings, right?
Gotcha.
So that's what we're taught is any type of power line down, we have to make sure that that's what is it?
De-energized.
Yes. Yeah, before we can even go in. But with wildland, with structure as an EMT, we have to make sure that that scene is secure before we can even step foot, onto the scene.
So if there's power lines involved, you guys wait for us as best you can. Okay, I was curious what that protocol is, because if it's not, that needs to be changed.
Yeah, we had a fire up in Morgan.
That'll kill everybody.
It was last August, that a power line went down, and that's what caused the fire.
Taggarts?
No, it was up Hartsgravel.
Okay.
Up in Morgan.
Dude, it happens all the time.
Yeah. That's what we see quite a bit that starts fires is just those power lines go down, they spark, and
Do you know what it's from most of the time? Are you ready for this?
a bird.
People people shooting our goddamn wire.
What?
Yeah, they'll shoot at our insulators. Like this little sculpture's got broken insulators all over it. They shoot the insulators for fun because they explode. And they'll do enough of that. It'll drop the goddamn wire to the ground, or they shoot the wire because it makes a hell of a spark and it doesn't go out, man. From whatever side the source is at, it's still energized.
Right.
Most of the time our relays are so out of whack because we're trying to keep everybody in power all the time they're not meant to handle what they have anyway, and we crank them up, the relays, and anyway, it gets complicated. But to keep lights going and wire at its max capacity, and it gets hot, and then dude, if people dick with it, it'll fall down by itself, but if it gets too hot or too overloaded, too whatever, but if somebody's messing with it at all with guns and stuff, shooting at our insulators, it drops it to the ground. It happens in Weber Canyon all the time.
Really?
Horseshoe Bend.
Yeah.
Everybody shoots in there. It happens there 5 times a year. They'll shoot and drop our wire, and then you get a fire.
Yeah, of course.
And then you guys are up there walking through that. It's scary, bro. That'll smoke people.
You have to be aware of your surroundings all the time.
Yes.
You can't even talk to somebody, just a random conversation, because it just distracts you and things change in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
So fast, and that's your life.
And everybody else's.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, luckily I haven't been in that situation yet where I felt like my life was in danger. But I haven't also been on any of the big fires like some of the other firefighters have. I want to just to experience it, to say that, yeah, I've done it, been there. But right now I like where I'm at because I just have a small crew. You know?
What's that small crew mean? How many-ish?
Oh, I think right now I have about 20.
That's a small crew.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a lot of responsibility.
It is. And it can get scary because you've got these people's lives in your hands, but also their families too.
Sure.
You know, you don't bring these guys home.
And they're balls deep in it sometimes and can't see what you can, right? Where you're from afar watching and guiding and things. That's a lot on your shoulders, man.
Yeah. And what a lot of people don't understand is that as an IC, you're in a vehicle. You're stuck in a vehicle. And you've got 2 phones ringing. You've got 3 radios you're trying to run. You're talking to, the aircraft. You're talking to your division supervisors. You're talking to your crew, your hand crews that are right on the fire line.
Yeah.
And it can get hectic. And so if you're not good at what you do and you're not a multitasker, you can get distracted so easily. Not to mention you've got people knocking on your window too, like wanting to talk to you.
Right,
So
dude.
it can get hectic.
And the more you have, the more that's going to be there.
Yeah.
The bigger the fire, the bigger the chaos. The more it takes a special kind of person. Well, I guess I didn't even start all this off with how I met you. I guess I should have started that way. But
right.
You're a client of mine. You came here to get tattooed, and we're so grateful to have you. And that started this whole talk of what you're all about. And I was like, dude, we got to get you on our show.
I love talking about what I do, whether it's
you're so
fire
quiet
or ambulance. I love the ambulance side of it too.
You do both.
Mm-hmm.
You guys,
so things kind of flip-flop a little bit. So with the fire season, I'm on call with fire, and that's my main job. I can help out with the ambulance when I can, but during those fire season, those times from June 1st until October 31st, I am strictly fire. And then during the wintertime, it kind of flops. I do a little bit more ambulance runs and a little less fire, obviously.
But you're ready for whatever.
Yeah.
All the time.
But on the other side of my job too, as a warden, I have mitigation work to do. I have cleanup. So mitigation work is like trying to prepare, maybe say, like I go and do a lot assessment. And I go and look at somebody's home, and I can be like, oh, these 2 trees that are on the side of your house, that's a fire hazard. So here's what we can do to prevent your home from catching on fire if we happen to have a wildfire. Also, I can go through and I can be like, okay, we need to build like a fire line here. I need to bring in a dozer, and I need to build, say, I think it's probably about a 10, 15 feet wide road to help. It's like a fire break. Pretty much, you know what that is, right?
Yep.
Fire break road. So that's what we do. If there's like...
Do you get to run the dozer?
No, unfortunately not. I have a brother that gets to, though.
I love dozers.
So,
there's one right there behind you on the sculpture.
I love dozers. Yeah, I would like to one day,
They're
but I got to
fucking
have
cool.
a special certification.
But you can call all them shots, and people, there's really not much they can really do about it.
No.
I mean, it's got to happen.
If it's on private property, then I do have to have special permission from those owners to go on their property and be like, hey, this is what I can do to protect your land. I can build this type of fire road. So if a fire comes in, say from the east, it's going to stop right here and it's not going to get onto your side, you know, or much into it, or, you know, however many feet into.
And they just calculate that from how far it could jump.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously you can't be for sure.
Right.
You know, but you can kind of estimate.
Right.
And that all depends on, it's called a topography. So that's like your slope, how steep your terrain is, the aspect, what side of a mountain does the sun see the most and for how long? So if the sun is hitting the east side of the mountain, say 4 or 5 hours of the day, that side of the mountain is most likely to heat up.
Dry and...
Yeah. So that could take off faster. With your fuels, so it could be like grass, it could be all timber, it could be leaves, you know, small little fuels like that.
And each side of the slope will have usually different trees that, like the north side's heavy pines and that kind, right? Okay.
Yeah, so that all changes. It's called fire behavior. So that can all determine how a fire is going to roll. If you have big timbers, it can either torch or it can do a crown. So torching is like one tree after another. It just keeps on going. Crowning is when it's literally touching each other as it's going down. And then you have spot fires. So did you know that a single amber can travel up to 2 miles and still catch something on fire?
No.
One single amber.
No.
And pine trees are the worst at that. They burn the hottest and the longest.
Pine.
So you see a bunch of, it's very common for people to have pine trees around their homes.
Sure.
It's probably the most common, that and maples. But
those needles are fucking
yes,
badass.
and that's what travels.
Okay.
So
I knew they burnt like crazy. I didn't know they traveled. That's
they
scary.
travel. They are the
They'll just
worst to have.
Take off.
So there's been several times where, you know, and that's what a good lookout does as well, is they sit there and they watch the fire. They can watch ambers and they can be like, oh crap, hey guys, listen, a mile down the road, we've got a small spot fire. Because those ambers travel.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that. And that's why we have restrictions during the dry season, the really dry season. So usually from like July to October, maybe the end of September, is no burning whatsoever. Because it is so dry out there, that one single amber can destroy somebody's livelihood.
Sure.
Or their homes. Or, you know, if they've got cattle, horses, sheep, you know, it could destroy them.
Especially up where you're at.
Yeah.
It's like a livelihood part of.
Yeah.
What about like where we're at you're sitting next to a wood burning stove. I have 2 of them. Correct me if I'm wrong. I was under the impression that new home, it's like an act of God to get a wood burning stove installed into a newer built home. Is that a thing?
Mm-hmm.
That's what
it's
I thought.
because of how they're built nowadays. Homes aren't built to last, I swear. They're built kind of cheap. It's not like how it was back in the day. They're not as sturdy. It's a lot of wood, where back in the day homes were more cement, brick, rock, and now it's just all of like the stucco stuff.
Yep.
That will go up in flames like crazy.
For
Super
sure.
fast. So yeah, it is true. It's hard to have a wood burning stove in a home because you know, your single pipe right there, tubing, can heat up a wall.
Right.
And that can start a fire.
Absolutely.
Without even knowing.
So this one is brick, air gap, whatever it is, like 3 inches or something, cinder block, 12-inch cinder block, and then a clay pipe down through the center of it as well. Like it's framed for that shit.
Yeah.
There's not a stitch of wood in there. Not one stitch. It's all concreted and
I think that's why nowadays you see these newer homes, they don't even have a burning stove capability.
right.
Is because they're not allowed. They're not built. Homes aren't built like they used to be.
So back in the day, you probably know the same. Like this home was built in '86. I grew up here, by the way. So I grew up in this house, and we grew up burning poles. So wood poles. That's our firewood from lineman poles. The ones we climbed. The old ones that are cut. They're pine, cedar, fir. Oh my God, they burn so good. And we'd go, nothing with treatment on it at all, because that gets creosote in your stuff.
Yep.
So we'd cut them up, and for years just haul them and chop them, and I have a log splitter, and that's how we heated our house, dude. Even down here in town, like that's how that's how we were raised.
That's how we heated our home as well.
So if that's your only source of heat, I mean, I don't know, because there's bans for these as well, right? Certain times of the whatever you can be fined or whatever.
Well, it's kind of different. So there are some fire restrictions that are a little bit more lenient for some people, and a source of heat is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So say, when we were talking about burn barrels.
Yeah.
If you were to tell somebody, oh, I'm using that as a source of warmth, you get away with it.
So we need to turn that camera off. Don't show her in the backyard.
It's all good. I'm not here to
I'm just
get
kidding.
anybody in trouble.
I get it, though. I get it.
And see, here's the other side of my job, too, as a warden, is that I'm not the cops.
Right.
I'm not, when I go and try to talk to somebody about, hey, there's restrictions, you shouldn't be burning
There's
right
a reason
now.
for it.
There is a reason for it.
Dude.
And I'm just trying to educate you.
Absolutely.
I'm not the cops. I'm not here to give you a ticket.
Right.
I don't want to get you in trouble.
Right.
But I do need to educate you as to why.
Yep.
People don't understand clearing index.
That a fucking ember will travel 2 miles.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And a clearing index, you don't want your home polluted with smoke, right? You don't want to walk outside and be like, oh, all I do is smell smoke.
Right.
So the clearing index helps with that. If the smoke doesn't rise at least 500 feet, then the smoke pollutes the area, and it gets into people's homes.
Yeah.
And people that have certain health issues, especially asthma, they don't do well with stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like today, our clearing index was only 50. We got to be at 500.
So I'm not supposed to be burning right now.
Not really.
It's not burning, I promise.
Well,
it just feels like it is.
Your wood burning stove is different. Remember, it's a source of heat. It's a source of heat.
Got you.
So that's different.
And if it's correct, and I don't want to derail you, but burning it correctly, I'm very, very crazy about keeping it at that perfect temperature. We were always taught there's a good temperature in there. You look out at that chimney, it's not smoking at all.
Yeah. And it also depends on the type of wood.
True.
Some wood
I was always
smokes
taught
more than others.
A good burning fire through our system, either one of the stoves, no smoke is a perfect fire. There's zero smoke at all. It's burning well. It's at whatever the temperature is, 400 degrees or whatever. Okay, so I didn't want to do that.
No,
I was just curious about that because I didn't know if it was real or not, but we've always done it where we try to keep it from smoking at all.
Yeah, and then that's great.
Cool.
People don't also understand that leaves, all they do is smoke. So what does that do? I mean, that causes a huge fire tunnel, smoke tunnel that goes up in the air. But if it doesn't have anywhere to go, all it does is just settle. And that's what causes the air to be polluted.
Or inversions.
The inversions, yeah. So I came down earlier today. I had to go to our Clearfield office for something. And I came through that canyon and I could not believe the inversion.
Already?
Yeah. Just coming through that canyon from Morgan to here, it was crazy. I could just see this haze.
Yeah.
Over Weber County and then over into Davis County as well. And I'm not saying that that's all due to smoke, but it has a lot to do with it.
Sure.
So part of my job is, I kind of have to patrol.
Sure.
And it's hard. I don't like telling people, oh, you can't burn.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time people are really understandable. And then you have others that are not so understandable. And that's when it gets hard. Because all you want to do is just educate and help people, and sometimes it's like
I think the majority, though, if educated, would listen. They would understand. I really do.
Yeah.
We talked about it tattooing the other day. Like, I think ignorance is the problem. People don't know. And the way they would follow the rules, man, if they did, I promise you they would. I'm even dumb to some of it, and I've done it my whole life. That's all.
Well, see, and that's another thing. People are like, well, I've done this for how many years, and nobody has ever said anything to me.
Right.
Well, okay, because one, you've probably never been caught. And two, maybe nobody's like educated you well enough for you to understand.
Right.
So there's different ways.
Yeah.
My chief that had this job prior to me, he was really good. He was born and raised in Morgan as well. So he's very well known. A lot of people know him. But people respected him. And that's what I want to get out of this job as well, is people to respect me.
You will.
And me being born and raised in that community, my face is known as well. And if it's not my face, they know the name.
Oh, yeah.
And so they can be like, oh, your grandpa was so-and-so. Yep.
Small,
and then they can be like, oh, yeah, well, I know you, and I did this with your family, blah, blah, blah. And that's how people get to know me, is just not by a name, by face, by reputation. And
Right.
I want that just like my chief did. So
I think you're getting it.
it's going to take some time. I know that. I'm pretty fresh to the whole warden thing, but I love it. I love the fire. I love being active. There's back to the mitigation stuff. There's a lot of saw work. So I run a chainsaw all summer long.
Hell yeah.
I fall trees, and we have chippers that we bring in to chip the wood. And some people, you get residents that come out and be like, oh, hey, can you just like bring that to my house?
I only need it for
Like,
10 minutes.
free chipper. Okay, good deal. So there's a lot to my job.
Yeah.
I'm still learning, that's for sure.
I think that's
much
what
to
keeps
it.
you good, man. I think that's a thing. I think you know that. Like, I don't think you're always going to be great at what you do, because you're always going to learn. You always want to learn. You don't know it all. I think
No.
that's what makes us a
No.
good boss of any kind, I think.
Well, and I was talking to somebody today, and we were talking about that exact thing. They said, if you go into this job thinking you know it all, you're wrong, because there's people that have been on the fire line for 10, 20 years, and they still learn every summer.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, well, I know I don't know everything. I can't come in here saying that I do, and that's a good leader.
Absolutely.
Learning from your guys.
I agree with that 100%. And I teach leadership stuff, man. There's no like badassery at all in being a leader. It's very much, if you do it correctly, straight from our course, it's very not what people think.
No.
It's not glorious. It's not fucking, you take the shit. You better. If something goes wrong, it's your fucking fault.
You take the good and the bad.
Yeah. And your people get all the credit, right? When I teach that, I scream it from the rooftops. When it's done and over, they did it. I told them, hey, man, I'm just, it's you're humble. You're humble about it.
Well, you keep
That's a
them
leader.
safe, but your crew is the one that does all the work. They're the
Yeah.
ones out there on that
And
fire
you give
line
them
doing
all
the
that
work.
respect. They did it, man. It was all them. That's cool, man.
And that's what I prefer. I don't like to get all fame and glory and stuff like that with what I do. And appreciation sometimes is great.
Sure.
Very rarely in my line of work do we ever get somebody that comes back and says, you saved my life. We don't get that often. But when we do, it feels great.
Yeah.
We had a teenager that came in, was it last night or the night before? And gave us cookies and said, I'm sorry it's taken me this long, but this past summer, I was involved in a rollover, and you guys came and got me to the hospital. And
Damn.
it
heavy.
just catches you.
Yeah.
Like, okay, even though they do appreciate it at that time, it's like sometimes you think, oh man, they just forgot. It's like, it's just a job. So when they actually take the time to come and, thank you. And it happens with fire too. When you out there and you're saving somebody's home from catching fire, they come and they appreciate you.
Yeah.
We've had, this last summer, we just had a small little fire up on a mountain, but a lady, it was in the middle of the night. Actually, it was by lightning. And in the middle of the night, she got out and brought us Gatorades, cookies, protein bars.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
We get that too sometimes. That shit's cool.
Yeah.
When you're in their
Not all
backyard
the
and they come
time,
out, they're
but-
like, thank you so much. And they have no power. You were out there together usually doing
Yeah.
shit with you guys.
Yeah.
Is fire by lightning, is that pretty common?
Absolutely. It's actually one of the most common fire starters is lightning. And
In the mountains or like everywhere, even down low.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
Mhm.
cool.
even structure fires.
The houses
We get
and
barn
shit.
fires quite a bit that are actually caused by lightning. And a lot of times it's because there's hay in the barn.
It'll start itself on
That's
fire
dry.
now.
That's dry, right? So anything with heat will catch that on fire.
Won't hay start
So,
itself on
yep.
fire if it's wet and drying and
Yep,
doing that?
combustible.
I've seen that shit, dude. That's scary.
It's very common.
It'll start smoking and you're
We
like,
actually had one early summer.
what is that?
did
And there's
that.
nothing there and it'll go up.
Yep.
Oh
Just
my
like
God.
that. But yes, lightning. We get dry lightning quite a bit. And dry lightning is there's no storm out there, but it just it's lightning.
Utah's famous for it.
Yeah, we are.
It hits us all the time doing the grounding thing, bizarrely, on a clear day.
Yeah, and that's the
we got-
dry lightning part of it.
We got hit at Lagoon one day. It didn't hit us, but it hit way down line on the exact same thing, and our ground sparked. And we're like, "What the hell? It's a sunny day."
Yeah,
So
and
day.
speaking of
it was
storms-
like 30 miles away. It struck and hit and
it does. And
bizarre.
believe it or not, we have to know different cloud types because you would think that if you've got the whole sky is gray, that would be the most alarming for a fire. It's not. It's when you get these single clouds, white clouds of all, white
This
clouds.
big white fluffy
Yep.
cloud.
Because there's still a storm in there somewhere. It just might not be visible. And that's where the dry lightning comes from.
That's creepy.
Yeah. So we're constantly checking whether we're on a fire or not. Every day I go into the office and I check the clearing index and I check the weather forecast because I have to actually, and I look at the radar part of it because I need to see if a storm is coming through in the next couple of days.
So you guys are weathermen. You're
Pretty much.
like you're everything.
Everything. Yeah. I get phone calls constantly during the day. Okay, can we burn today? Well, why? When's it going to be a good day? And I said, weather is so unpredictable. So it could be good today and it shows it's good tomorrow, but wait till tomorrow because it will change.
So every day it just changes.
Every day
We'll have to-
it changes.
Like, hey, don't burn today, please. I think if people are educated,
Yeah.
they're gonna listen.
And really, Morgan is
majority.
pretty good. We're a small community, and Boyd, who is the fire chief now, that was the warden, he was really good about educating people and getting flyers out there, getting that communication with residents.
Totally.
You know, Morgan is growing. Obviously, we're getting more and more subdivisions everywhere, so it's becoming a little bit more of a task to educate those people, but it's okay. I created a Facebook page.
Hell
And I did.
Good.
Yeah. That was one of the first things I did when my old supervisor left was I wanted to because social media is almost a way of life now. That's
Absolutely.
how people get the word out to everybody, right?
Yep.
So I wanted to create a page so people could be aware of, well, when are fire restrictions? Why? Why is it that there's no fireworks? You know, because people get that they see signs that just says no fireworks, but some of them are like, well, why? I don't get it. So I want this Facebook page to let people and their curiosity be fulfilled. Okay, why can't we have fireworks? Here's why. like we had a fire that started Saturday evening. It was like about 6:00, and it was all because of guy didn't know about restrictions. He walked away from it, and it got away from him so quickly. And people, you know, most of the time aren't aware that we have fires. So I put that on there, and I said, this could have been prevented, and here's why. Check with your local fire department of restrictions, or is it okay to burn, you know, this or this? And here's the big one. Never leave a fire unattended. It doesn't matter what it is. You've got a little campfire and you're cooking on it. Don't ever walk away.
Well, I bet it's a misconception that it's just don't burn. It's this big thing. Like, it's not like that.
No.
You guys are very open about it. Like, I think it's cool that people know that. Don't fucking hide from them. Check it, man. They'll talk to you the way you say that. I think that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Get out there and be with them. Say, no, man, it's a good day to burn. This, and this. Check that. Whatever. Water this. Whatever you got to tell them. Like, I think that's cool.
Well, and that's exactly what I did. There was a few days where it was no burning. So on the Facebook page, I said, okay, guys, there's no burning for the next 3 days.
Yeah.
Things change. I'll let you know. Soon as we had an open burn day, I was on Facebook. I put it out there, and I think I had 10 burn permits that day. People calling in wanting to burn their yard waste. You know, and that's all it takes is a simple communication like that, and help educate people and let them know, okay, we can't burn, but guess what? I just let you know when there was an open day.
What is that? Is that a permit? Is that what that means?
So a burn permit is just basically making the fire department aware that there's going to be smoke in the area. So, and it also alarms or tells dispatch too. So say somebody, a resident, they see smoke in the area. They call dispatch and I say, hey, I think we've got a fire. There's smoke in this area. Here's a general address. Dispatch can look up that address and be like, oh, yep, there's a burn permit. We're good. We don't have to take up resources and their valuable time by sending them out there and taking them away from.
Or one guy could haul ass and make sure, not a whole crew responding.
Absolutely.
Got it. Got it.
Yep, and that's just honestly what burn permits do.
That's cool.
It's just to make others aware, to make the fire department aware, and dispatch, you know, they're constantly getting real emergency calls, and we don't want to take up their time or our time if there's an actual real emergency.
We had 911. I don't know if you listened to that episode, but my cousin Justin and his wife Shiloh, 911 dispatchers that did that beautiful episode.
Yeah.
My God, it was informational, man. I didn't know any of that. It just blew my mind listening to the whole thing. I was like, I had no idea it was that complex.
Go through a lot.
All of you guys are
and
incredible.
It's not just one caller that they're talking to. It could be a couple of others. I've had several times where dispatchers, you know, you try to get them on the radio and they say, stand by, I'm on another call. They're multitasking.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, I don't think I could ever be a dispatcher.
They're incredible, dude. They're incredible people.
Are. And the things that they have to listen to, I've seen a lot as an EMT. I've had to deal with a lot. I've helped a lot of people in many different ways. I see them at their worst, right?
Right.
But a dispatcher, you can't be there to help.
Yep.
All you're doing is listening. And I know that they can help in their own way as far as like just talking to them, because a good calm voice is better than nothing, right?
Right.
But I don't know how they can just sit there and listen to something.
Well, and Shiloh said there's his wife that they both do it together in the Weber County, and if you watch that episode, it's deep, it's gnarly. Like they don't have closure of it all. You're in it, you're doing it, you do it, you get them, you go, you put them physically move A to B kind of thing. You get some kind of closure in that scenario. They have zero closure of anything ever.
Exactly.
They call you guys like, how'd that end up, man? Like they take it home.
Yeah.
They don't know they just hear it. Oh my God.
Yep. At least we know that we can either get them to the hospital safely or not, depending on the situation. More times than none, we don't know the results after that.
Yeah.
You know, we can actually call the hospital directly. We actually have a liaison that does that for us. So we just email them and they'll contact whatever hospital we took that patient to, and they can find out patient information, and then we get a report. So if it's something that we're like, man, what was going on. Everything we did didn't work.
Yeah.
You know, then we can call and be like, okay, what was the end result? But dispatchers, they can't do that.
All you guys are you're amazing people. Every one of you people.
Thanks.
You really are. And you're horribly underpaid. I think. I don't even know what you make. It's none of my business, but I know you're underpaid.
Yeah.
I know you are.
Yeah.
And I know some fire is it not volunteer work? A lot of it.
A lot of it.
God, it's amazing to me.
Wildland fire is a little bit different though. So most of the firefighters that do these wildland fires are seasonal. So they only work from June 1st to October 31st. And usually when the fire season ends, they're like ski patrol.
Gotcha.
And so they basically live off the money they made fighting fire. And they either do little dinky jobs on the side for the winter until fire season hits again.
Ski patrol.
Exactly.
I used to do that.
I know.
In Park City.
I know a lot of people that do. But
I love it.
on the other side of that, depending on how many fires you go on, you could make bank
Well, there you go.
on fires. Because one assignment is 14 days. That's all overtime. Those 14 days are overtime.
So they're getting taken care of.
They get their regular pay plus overtime.
Good.
And hazard pay for being on a fire. So there's so much that goes into being a firefighter, though, for wildland. If you have a family, that is so tough on not just you, but your family. You're gone for 14 days straight.
Right.
And then you come home for 3 or 4 days, and then you're out fighting again. But that's just for a few months. And a lot of these guys live off of that during the winter. So if their families can just hang on for those short period of time, for those few months, they've got all winter long to play.
How many of them are single?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Quite a few of them. And there are a lot of not teenagers, but just recently graduated from high school kids.
Young people.
Yeah. Yeah. But you could make bank.
You don't have a family, do you?
No.
Are you ever going to?
I don't know.
You're still young.
Oh, I don't know about that. My time's kind of running out, but that's a whole nother story.
I don't think so.
I mean, I eventually want to get married, and I want to have that, significant other. But as far as like kids, I don't know. And I don't know if this is going to sound selfish, but I love what I do. And it would be so hard to give all that up.
You love your
for
niece.
Family.
I know that.
I love my nieces and nephews.
I
have 7 of them.
I talked to your brother.
Yes. That brother in particular, him and I have always been super close. So
he's cool.
He's the baby. I'm the oldest.
He loves you dearly.
Yeah. We've been through a lot, and we might as well honestly be twins. We know each other so well.
He's cool.
But yeah, my little niece, she's starting to, okay, so my nickname's Wee Woo for my nieces and nephews, and she's starting to say it. So
see, you don't need kids.
Exactly.
That's not selfish,
them.
dude. There's nothing wrong with that.
I really do love kids, absolutely. But do I want any of my own? I don't know. I don't think I kind of love my job so much right now, and am having fun with the freedom. Maybe things will change. I don't know, but
I think that makes you who you are and so good at what you do. That's just who you are. That's what's so cool. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there won't be another you, I guess. That sucks.
No. Not another me.
Because I've had children. Oh, dear God, look out, world. There's 2 more of me's coming out here.
Oh, I don't know if I would want another me out there. That's kind of...
Yeah, 4 kids, but 2 of them are pretty close to what I am, and that's not good. So I don't know, man. There's nothing wrong with that, though.
It's hard.
You know what you want,
but,
to a point.
I mean, do I want to share with people and, a significant other with what I do? Yeah, I do. I would love to go home and talk to people about what I do, or talk to, my other half.
Or your tattoo artist.
Your tattoo artist, exactly. And I do that quite a bit.
I know you do. We're so grateful to have you, man.
Thanks.
When you came, we started talking. I was like, damn. And you're so quiet. You're so quiet and like, Your brother's the same way. He cracked last time. He was
I told
wild.
him.
He was fucking wild, dude. I couldn't believe it. I was like, she's so tall, called this. Said that you were going to be.
Told you.
She's like, he was quiet. I'm like, fuck, dude. He was so quiet. You're like, next time he won't be. And he was ape shit loud. Like, he just wouldn't shut up. I loved it.
He's like me. We kind of have to warm up.
You guys are very calm.
And, we'll warm up. And then you'll probably be sorry. Be like, shut up.
No. You can't talk any more than me. No.
I don't know.
That's hard to hit that.
When it comes to my job and what I love to do, I could talk for hours.
You speak of it so well. Thanks. It reminds me of how, like, when he talks about what he does, some people are very articulate in speech, and they have this. He's getting ready to fire up. Here we go. They have this way of expressing things that they're passionate about and good at. And I'm not that way. I'm a little chaotic. I'm a little bit everywhere. The last episode I had, DeMarco, God, he's a fucking animal. I see me as that and just everywhere and fast and a lot to handle. And that's just me. You guys are quite the opposite from what I see. You guys are you speak well and it's understandable. And when I talk, I'm fucking everywhere. Like I do too many things. I don't have one particular thing. So I just think it's cool. What's up?
So I got to ask, because I know everybody is screaming at the radio right now and at their screens. Whatever happened to Smokey the Bear?
Good call. See?
Actually,
where the fuck? See?
Yeah. Smokey the Bear is still out there. But it's kind of like he's dwindling a little bit, honestly.
You would think with social media there would be even more on it.
Yeah.
Because he was huge when we were kids.
Yeah.
Oh,
huge.
And
you're not as old as me. You probably don't want. How old? You want to tell me how old you are? I know, but I don't.
35.
Yeah, you're younger. See, that was when we were kids, man.
So when
he was a big deal.
He kind of still is. He's still the face of fire. But I don't think he doesn't really show his face as often.
He's just up in the mountains on the little signs.
All of the little pamphlets that we get to help fire prevention, he's still on there.
Is he? Mm-hmm. Only you can prevent forest fires.
We actually, I, this past summer, tried to get Smokey the Bear out to make a public appearance. But, of course, with COVID, they didn't want the whole Smokey the Bear suit to be on somebody because it's not easily cleanable.
Do you have the suit? I'll do it.
No, we don't have the suit.
I'm too short.
It's the state of Utah that has it.
That's cool.
But yeah, Smokey the Bear, he's still out there. It's just
he's on every one of them signs as you go up every canyon.
Yeah.
And he says high, low, or medium, whatever the range of fire.
We've got that on the station too.
Danger is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite a job. There is so much to it that I haven't even talked about, that people just don't understand. And that's okay, But my job, I want to educate people as much as I can. Let them understand, why. Most of all, why is there restrictions? Why is it that in July and August you can't burn? You can't even have a campfire. Well, let me tell you. How much moisture do we get in July? August? Like none, right? There is nothing in the ground to stop that fuel and that heat from going.
Because it don't have to be no damn spark, right? It
Nope.
can be radiant heat.
Radiant heat.
Shit.
Radiant heat.
That's scary.
I know. Yeah. And also, would you say that a fire spread would be faster downhill or uphill?
Obviously, the answer would be uphill, but downhill's probably the thing, right?
It's uphill.
It is uphill.
And why?
Because heat rises?
Yeah.
Nope.
The wind catching the drip.
Wind.
That could be one of them. But if you think about it, something going downhill, think about walking. What do you do when you walk downhill?
It's a bitch, dude.
Right? You're kind of holding yourself back.
Right.
That's exactly what fire does.
So gravity may...
Gravity. So when a fire climbs uphill, it's literally digging in there and it's grabbing onto everything that it can get its hands on and the radiant heat. So downhill, it's slow. So if you
that's
want a fire,
fucking cool, dude. That's great.
Yeah. And
I would have...
Here's another thing. We have what's called direct and indirect attack. Okay, so direct attack is right there on the fire line. You are like a foot from the flames, right? Indirect is like you're maybe 20 feet, 30 feet, or you're like on a dozer line. Which one's the safest?
I don't even.
Huh? Nope. Direct attack. Because you can step foot into a black, a piece that's already burnt, and you're safe. If you're indirect, that wind can change so fast that it could take up that whole piece that's in front of you, just like that. So if you are direct attack, you're right on that fire line and you're digging a 3-foot line around that fire, you can easily step into a black that's already been burnt and you're safe.
Totally safe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it can rob oxygen everywhere, right? Does it make it harder to breathe when you're in the middle of some of that gnarly stuff? And
it can, but we have protective gear for that.
Gotcha.
We have like a face shield thing that it's called a shroud, and it's just a piece of material that you just kind of put over your face, and it helps a lot.
Sweating your ass off.
Yeah.
You know, you really do. So I hate the heat. I am a winter girl all the way.
You're a firefighter.
Love the cold. I know. And people are like, well, you work with fire. Like how?
Right.
I don't get it. And I say, but with all of our protective gear, I don't feel that much heat. Long sleeve, the helmet. And I don't know if it's because I'm right there and I'm focused on what I'm doing.
Right.
So I don't think about that so much. But it's not until I come off of that mountain that I'm like, damn,
holy shit,
I'm drenched.
Sweating my ass off.
Yeah. It's crazy.
There was a movie, and you might be familiar with it. I think it's called Hot Shots, or the story about the men that lost their lives in, I think it was Arizona.
Arizona or Nevada?
Yeah, it might have been Nevada. Can you tell? I think it's very important to know what these guys do. Can you kind of tell people about? I believe the term is hot shots. I believe
Hot
that's.
shots.
Can you tell the people what they are and like what they do?
So hot shot crew, they are specially qualified to handle large fires, different terrain, steeper terrain. They're really not much different than a regular firefighter. They're just probably more physically trained for it. But you have to actually try out for a hot shot crew.
So they're not part of the Forest Service Bureau stuff, or are they their own whole entity and thing?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
So they are their own crew, but they might be attached to the BLM, or they might be attached to the state forest lands, the DNR. It just depends, but they are their own crew. They just might be attached to something like the BLM.
Gotcha.
You know, but the hot shot crew, they are very famous because they travel different states. And it's not saying that like I can't travel to different states, because I can, but this crew, they are together all summer long and even after like the next year. But they are just specifically qualified to handle these bigger fires, ones that a single resource can't handle or a single hand crewman can handle. So they're always together. So I guess it's kind of hard. Well, I wouldn't say hard to explain, but they're not much different than a firefighter. Just probably more of a name.
They're out in it, and they have the resources as well, I guess, if they need equipment.
I think they're just like more physically trained, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because they're hiking up these steep terrain mountains like you're walking on flat ground.
Right.
Yeah.
Just doing stuff by hand.
And I've seen female crews on hot shots.
I bet you guys are tougher, dude. I
don't know.
I know tattooing, like, females are way tougher. I swear, I don't even understand it. I don't get it. Any other tattooer listening to this will attest. They will. I promise you. Most of the time, females are easier to tattoo. They're tougher. I swear, it's bizarre. I think guys have to act tough all the time. We have this little persona we put out there, right? Women just are. They don't act that way.
I think it's hormones.
something.
I really do.
When
because
shit hits the fan, women are dope, man.
Well, and that's why we're built differently.
Yeah.
Women can handle things that men can't.
Right.
And it's not saying that females are not physically tough, because I believe that we are. But there is definitely a line where I can say that a male can do something more than a female can. And it's really just how they're built. It's how they're made.
Yeah.
Our bodies, female body isn't meant to take all the heavy lifting, that a male can do.
Right.
But it's not saying we can't,
You're smarter too. You guys are smarter.
Hormones.
I swear to God, like you'll stay calmer. It seems as like a lot of times it seems you're underrated. You guys I love.
Sometimes.
That's why Jade. I have. Shout out Jade Lewis. I love to surround myself. I'm kind of a female-y guy. I don't know. I think I turn into a little bit of a woman.
I think
But
it's you just understand. You're able to understand a woman's perspective.
And I respect it, dude. In our craft, it's a male-dominated industry by far, as most things are. But in tattooing, it's ridiculous. And linemen, it's quite the opposite. There's very, very few female linemen. Very few. I know 2.
Well, it wasn't very long ago that females weren't even allowed to do stuff like this.
It's ridiculous because they're fucking awesome. The 2 I know are really good.
We're just as smart.
You're every bit as smart. And that gets you out of stuff, man. You stay calm, seem to stay a little more calm sometimes. But anyway, it's strange to watch. In tattooing, I prefer it. I much prefer not having to deal with an ego and listen here. I don't have to be stern at all. It's quite the opposite.
We just bring in a different perspective.
Yes.
On things.
And it keeps me calmer. I'm very much the alpha guy in my world of other stuff. And I'd rather stay calm, and female brings that to me, actually. Yeah. I don't know. I'd stay, and then I turn into a diva. I turn into a little bit of a diva.
I need my kombucha. I need my coffee.
Yeah, I need my kombucha.
Coffee.
Mama Chari.
Yeah.
Mama Chari kombucha.
And it's not an easy job, my line of work. When anytime you're on a fire, you are not to leave your vehicle without a hand tool and without your pack. Now, your pack is at least 40 pounds. And you're carrying that on your back anytime you are on that fire line. And in that pack, it has your fire shelter. So say you're going to be on a fire and you're going to be stranded for, I think it's like 24 hours that you have to be prepared for. So extra batteries. Like in my pack, I have an extra pair of socks in case that my feet sweat so bad that I'm going to form blisters because they're wet. You know, so I have a change of socks. I've got some sugar, because a little piece of sugar is good to have for a little bit of energy. Your bodies have to have sugar.
Yeah.
And when you sweat so much like you do on a fire line, you lose a lot of nutrients, and sugar's one of them. So
salt being another.
And I carry sunflower seeds as well, a little baggie of that.
Gum. Gotta have gum.
I have gum. I do have gum and chapstick.
And chapstick.
I do. I have to have gum and chapstick. I even have chapstick in my pocket. Like
24
I have
hours
it
a day.
everywhere.
I feel you there. I got it all day long.
Yeah. So whatever, basically, there's a few things that you have to have in your pack, but the other things are kind of up to you.
Sure.
Of what you want. Like a pair of socks, that's not, it's recommended, but it's not you have to have.
What's a shelter?
Oh, shelter.
Fire shelter. What the fuck is? You just whip out this little thing and up it goes. And
yes. So it's actually just almost a little sleeping bag.
Goddamn. That's not a lie. Was that a stupid question?
No.
See, I have this horrible way of saying shit. That's what I say.
It's great. I think it's great. I
fucking
really do.
wide open.
No. So your fire shelter.
Very educated people. Stay in fucking school, kids.
Oh, that was great.
Sorry.
No. So your fire
I'm
shelter
picturing this
isn't,
tent thing, like bam.
It's not. It's like a little sleeping bag.
And it will keep you mexed. It'll keep you from.
No. So if a fire were to roll over you, you would melt in a heartbeat.
Okay.
But it will protect you from radiant heat. So if a fire is close and you can't get out, you deploy this fire shelter and hopes that it's just going to kind of go around you. It's not going to roll over you.
Just roll in this bag and hope for the best.
It's you might have to kind of YouTube it and see what a fire shelter is.
Yeah.
There's kind of a lot into it. You have to build like a 4x8 down to the mineral soil. You know, say you're out in this grassy field, you got to take your tool and you've got to build this 4x8, you know, square big enough for you to lay in. And the only thing you take is your radio and some water if you can in your little shelter. And it's literally like the size of a sleeping bag. And
Have
it
you
may or
ever,
may not
have you
save
ever
you.
hop in one tripping? Like, oh, shit.
Nope, other than training.
Be scary, man.
No. Boyd has, you know, fire chief. He says that it's not fun. Definitely not fun, because you don't know if that fire is gonna roll over you, if it's just gonna go out and around you. He says, you know, there was times where I'd feel that heat and I'd be like, all right, this is it. And then all of a sudden it just goes out and around him. And he comes out and he's okay.
So unpredictable, huh?
Yeah. You still can get burned, obviously. Radiant heat burned you.
Yeah.
You know, so there's been several firemen that have, you know, walked away, but not unharmed. They've got burned. For sure.
I'm good. I'm gonna stay here.
It's an adventure to me. Do I ever want to get in that position? Absolutely not.
Right.
But I'm an adrenaline junkie. And that to me is just an adrenaline high.
Big
Being
time.
out there with this fire that's so unpredictable, and you're out there in the heat of it, trying to save people's lives or, you know, save somebody's property. It's pretty crazy.
Especially as a female, right? How even fire, not as the ward, how many fire women are there? Is that a thing?
Oh gosh, I don't know an exact number, but it's becoming more common.
Is it?
Yeah. Some of the fires, the bigger fires that I was out on Tooele this year, there was a couple of females that I came across, even one in a hot shot crew.
Really?
Female. Now, okay, I don't think I'm big. People say I'm pretty small. But there was one at the hot shot female crew was quite large. Physically fit in order to be on a hot
Big
shot
old
crew.
tough gal.
Oh yeah. But I think I don't know where she was from, but she was quite buff. Large.
You don't have to be that big to be gnarly though, man. If you
don't.
throw your shit hits the fan, you know what's up.
Am I physically fit? Not 100%. I could be better, but I could run up a mountain probably faster than a male could.
I guarantee you get up there quicker than me. I'll be down here shouting. That way.
You'll just be the cheerleader.
Nope. Oh, I got a radio. Shit. Hey, little left, other left.
Yeah, that's hard. Knowing your left from your right,
That's-
your north from your south.
Yeah, dude. You do that from your radio, right? You're in charge of all that stuff.
Thank goodness for GPS. Yeah. It is gnarly, but it's so fun.
Why does Farmington burn every goddamn year right here? This mountain goes up every single year to the top.
One, because it's heated most of the day. That sun hits that mountain. If you notice as you're driving along 89,
West face.
that sun hits that mountain in the hottest part of the day.
And people live right up in it.
Yeah.
Right up.
Yeah. I mean, people, a lot of the times Farmington is like people shooting up there.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're driving up Farmington Canyon and a rock hits a rock. You know, their tire flips a rock and it sparks something. You know, horses, they're up there quite a bit too. Their shoes, it sparks on a rock.
Seriously.
Fire. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
There is so much that can start a fire. It's crazy.
It's not always just the old cigarette flicking out the window. It's like, it's so many different things.
You know, they say actually, they did a study this year that says that a cigarette butt was probably on the bottom of the list of fire started.
Because everybody's vaping.
Well, not just that, but by the time a lit cigarette is thrown, what?
That was fucking stupid. Sorry.
Oh.
I'm being serious though.
Oh, I was like, no.
Because nobody smokes cigarettes anymore.
Well, they don't.
But they're made to go out and not burn and burn and burn, right?
No, by the time it hits the ground, it's out.
Hmm.
It's not hot enough to start a fire.
Power lines.
Believe it or not, birds on the top of the list.
Are they for hitting stuff?
Because they hit a power line, a bird
Spark them.
hits a power line, and it sparks the transformer.
Mm-hmm.
Knocks a power line down, or
That's.
a bird.
I know that's a big one.
I can't tell you how many times I go roll up on a fire and I see a bird there, and I'm like, we don't even need an investigator. There's
Right
your
there.
cost right there. There's your bird.
Squirrels hit it, do it all the time. We have all kinds of crazy shit. Huh? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Herring, anyone?
Yeah. Speaking of, roasted chicken, I went on a barn fire this summer, and the cause was a heat lamp trying to keep their chickens warm. And we didn't know that there were chickens in there until afterwards, right? I mean, we're not going to see if there's any livestock in a barn. Like, sorry.
Chicken nuggets for everybody.
Chicken. I said, anybody want fried chicken for lunch? It was like lunchtime, and everybody's
shit.
like, what? And I'm like, we got chickens in here. And they were roasted, of course. I mean, there was nothing left of it, but
No heat lamp needed.
no, it was kind of sad.
God, that sucks. Because that's the thing up there. Keep everything thawed out, right? What about electric shit? Electric shit in the keeping water unfrozen. The heat coils or whatever that keeps the water. Do those started a lot?
Wiring.
Yeah,
Check
man.
your wiring.
Christmas lights. Holy shit. Did you see my Christmas lights?
Oh, I think it's fantastic. Between you and your neighbor, absolutely loved it.
Fire hazard.
But that's okay. I mean, as long as you're checking your wires, that there's no no open wire, what is it that surrounds the wires itself? The
Insulation.
Yeah. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're safe. I mean, obviously anything can happen, but
Number one, though, cause, what is it usually of a home?
faulty wiring.
Wiring.
Mm-hmm. Especially in these older homes.
Internal wiring, like in the walls and shit.
Yeah. And it's just, most of the time it's age.
Yep.
And over time, things kind of, I don't want to say decay, because, well, kind of they do, but.
Just like humans, man.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
It kind of does.
Yeah, they fall apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, faulty wiring, though.
Yeah, it breaks down. The old shit's horrible, too. The Romex running through some of these walls is ridiculous, man. It's like wrapped in cloth.
It is.
And it's we pull it out used to do that when we do our service change outs. That range cable, and it's all wrapped together, and it's cloth. It's wrapped in cloth. Dude, that's scary.
Things are getting a little bit more lazy nowadays, I have to say. Because it's just like with homes, like I said, they're not being built like they used to.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that people are lazy. It's just things aren't being built like they did.
Quicker, right?
Quicker. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's quicker.
We need 10 up today instead of half a year to build this thing with all brick and all. Yeah.
Wood is a lot faster to build than with brick or with stone or
right.
rock. And
it's like, get 5 of these up today. Everything's stick frame built. Yeah.
But with these, like, especially with barns, we see a lot. It's the faulty wiring.
People running weird cords and shit out there.
Not only
doing
that,
stuff they
but
shouldn't be, or more.
It's literally just these old barns that they don't rewire.
Gotcha.
I mean, I have to say, my family's farm, we haven't rewired the barn.
Yeah.
But it's a scary deal, because I look at some of the wiring out there and I'm just like, I'm just waiting for this to happen. Especially because of my job. I'm more aware of things. Right. Becoming a firefighter. I see things and I'm just like, oh my gosh, Kay, turn my head. I'm not looking at this. It's hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Even as an EMT, I look at things differently. I will never look at a motorcycle the same.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
So my perspective on life is completely different. I'm single, 35 years old, and I'm starting to get my will in order. I'm not saying that you can't at any age, but my line of work, you just never know.
Right.
And I know that can be anybody driving down the road, right? But it's like my perspective on life has completely changed.
You're not out there for a sunny day, man. You guys are out there when shit's hit the fan, right?
Yeah.
That's why you're going. That's why you're going. That's why the 911 call. That's why all you guys are going for. There's something bad going on. So yeah, that's flips your perspective all the way over.
Completely. I'm more alert at night. I don't sleep well at night because if I'm not alert when a call goes out, what is that going to do for somebody? You know, what is that going to do for the patient? I say I'm super sleepy and I'm getting called out in the middle of the night and I'm driving down the road and I cause an accident.
Right.
Like my brain is so different. It just thinks differently now. I'm just more alert with things. I don't sleep well.
You better, because you're going to get in the car and go and help, and you better not get.
I know, but I mean, I feel good. Don't get me wrong.
You're just wired different, man.
I am, but I wouldn't change anything. I love what I do. I love helping people, whether it's on the fire line or as an EMT. You know.
How long have you done that for?
Almost 6 years. I kind of started late in life. I didn't know what I really wanted to do in my 20s. And, you know, it was a lot of partying.
I still don't know what I want to do. There's nothing wrong with that.
You're in trouble.
Hey, weed just came legal today. Allegedly. Federally. Sorry.
Good to know.
So it's good. Let's party.
Good to know. I'm good. Yeah, so I kind of came into this, you know, late in life, but I still have years to go.
Yeah,
so,
dude. There's no age limit to it all, right? You just, as long as you can pass your stuff and
absolutely
stay on top of your training stuff, they let you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know firefighters that are in their 70s and they're still running up a mountain.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, dude, that's a different breed of people.
It just depends on how physically fit you are. And it's just not physical, it's mental too.
Sure.
They give, so your retirement is actually 20, I want to say it's either 20 or 25 years. Because after so long, you start breaking down.
Sure.
I mean, there's been several people that I've known that have done this for years and years, and one single call can change everything, and they'll walk off and be done.
Yeah, something crazy that you weren't expecting, or
Yep. So they I don't know if you call it lucky, but our retirement's a little bit shorter than most. It's not your 30 whatever years.
Do you believe in luck?
Yeah.
Do you?
I do.
You think things can just work out for whatever reason, and it's a luck thing?
Well, you remember my tattoo. Everything happens for a reason.
I do.
And I firmly believe that. You may not know the reason, you may not know it ever.
Yeah.
But there's a reason for everything.
Sure.
And being in my line of work, so many times I will see a certain situation, say like a traffic accident, that they should have been dead, but they walked away without a scratch. And then there's others that it's like, oh my gosh, like how you should have survived this.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just everything happens for a reason. When it's honestly your time to go, it's your time to go. Or if something happens, it's for a good reason.
Sure. I don't know.
You don't know?
I've had that talk a lot. I like that talk. The luck talk. It's interesting what people think.
Everybody's has their own opinions,
Mhm.
you know, and perspective on things.
You see it differently. I don't see things like you do.
Oh.
Like,
Just pure luck.
yeah. How do you explain that? Like, holy shit. There's no way to explain this. I get it.
Last night there was a traffic accident. Somebody hit a moose.
Oh,
and it actually went
shit.
through their windshield.
That's a whole lot of
And they're perfectly fine.
Oh, my God. On the freeway, on 84?
No, it was actually up Trapper's Loop.
You're still
There in
hauling
Warden.
ass, though, 55-ish.
I'm pretty sure of it. Pretty sure.
It's a haul-ass road nowadays. It didn't used to be.
It is.
Damn,
But
dude.
it's like, how do you walk away from hitting a moose? Honestly.
We
If you're in a bigger truck, okay, I can see. But when you're in a tiny little vehicle.
We've seen a lady hit one in Downey coming down the hill right there, coming out of a camp just out of lava, just headed to Soda, just decapitated everybody in the vehicle. In a smaller car, it just killed everybody. Was gonzo. It took the whole roof of the car off. We were there 15 minutes after it happened.
Yep.
Driving by, and we're like, oh my God. We just kept going. Everybody was there and stuff. But yeah, dude, you could just see it was, oh my God. So yeah, that's a whole lot of animal.
Oh.
And you hit them like right at the leg height, right? With a car, right where they're going to tumble into you. That's what that was.
I've seen
right
it
there,
multiple
coming down
times.
the hill right there out of Downey. Dude, you're doing 90
Yeah.
fucking miles an hour. You're flying.
Yeah.
It was right there at the bottom of the hill. Oh my God.
Those are normal in your neighborhood, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like
we
pets.
We see it quite a bit. Quite a bit. We actually, a couple of years ago, we actually had a moose attack a lady.
Dude, I smacked one in Taggart's. God, you ready for this shit?
Yeah.
They're everywhere right there. Taggart, just up above the thing. We're fly fishing
Oh, yeah.
and walking just out of the bridge, just behind on the other side of the restaurant, in the thing going around the corner right there by the freeway, walking through these little willows by the bridge. And we just had to kind of get down low and we're crawling through. My brother's right behind me. I got a 9.5 foot fly rod, a little 3-weight, little tiny guy. And we had him. Have you ever fly fished? Like, you got to have it poked through there first, right? We're trying to get through there, and I see this thing. I was like, what the fuck is that? I'm trying to wait. It's a goddamn moose and a calf, I believe. Is that what it is? The calf is the little one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mom was pissed, and we come through. I was like, oh, we come out of the thing.
They are the most
And she was
protected
there, and I didn't know
animal.
what to do, so I fucking slapped her.
You did.
With that fly rod. It scared the shit out of me because she was looking at me like, bitch.
You didn't.
Dude, I slapped her. I didn't know what to do. Right on the back of her head, she was kind of turned broadside. I was like, yeah, whack. And I was like, fucking run. I'm like,
Redneck cowboy there.
bitch took off. I was like, holy shit.
Thought you were Indiana Jones.
Dude, I had my pistol and everything. I was like, oh. shit. Hey, like, because we just come out of that opening, bro, and it was right there. And I was like, God
Stop a moose, though.
damn.
A pistol won't.
No, just trying to scare the shit out of her. I didn't know.
You guys are okay with this big ass beast just rolling around your neighborhood? Like, that's a huge fucking animal.
They're fucking
We see them all the time.
so big.
Here, that's a discussion we have to have. Like, we are okay with freakishly long or big ass animals like a moose. We're okay with birds talking. Like, you can have a conversation with a parrot. Why are we okay with these things?
Moose. You don't want to see a moose when you're fishing when it's quiet. I know that.
I see a moose anytime.
I come up out of that
Especially when
little
she's
hole and I was
carrying
like,
the calf
oh,
with
dear
her.
Jesus. Yeah, she was right next to her. They right in that. We come out of that little
Have
clearing.
you ever seen one of those walk? They will literally just walk over a fence like it was nothing. Like you're just
So
stepping
tall.
over like nothing. Just taking a step. Those suckers are so tall that they just
She was
simply walk
pissed,
over.
dude. She made their little grunt noise, and I just smacked her with that fucking fly rod.
I can't believe you did that.
Dude, I wasn't gonna stand there and
I
like
have this,
walk
like-
backwards, Jed. I'm like, fuck you, man.
Yeah,
like,
I have this image in my head
fuck,
and
I
literally
freaked
Indiana
out.
Jones. Like, come on.
So I rode that fucking cow all the way up the mountain. I did. No, man. It freaked me out. My brother was right behind me, and he hit come into me. Dude, it was just weird how everything's grown over, and you're crawling through that shit all weird.
Yeah, did you know
Couldn't
that
even
a
stand up.
moose is actually more likely to attack you than a bear?
I wouldn't doubt it.
They are so territorial.
So glad to be here. I didn't. It was from 9 foot rod, 9.5 foot rod, whatever it was. Like right close. As soon as we come out of the thing, she was right there, and I just reacted. I was like poker eye.
Oh my God.
I'm like, fuck
I
something.
can't believe that thing didn't come after you.
Dude, I slapped
shocked.
the shit out of that thing. I'm sure it's got a big old welt on her ass still. She fucking
She
woo,
probably didn't. It was probably
Scared
a
her.
tiny little sting.
scared her too. I was scared, man. I didn't know what to do. I wasn't gonna turn around and run the other way. You couldn't even walk through that shit. We were like crunching through all them willows. I'm like, damn.
You would have been in the fetal position.
Dude, she fucked me up for sure. I didn't know what to do. I had my hand on my pistol. As soon as I slapped her, I dropped that rod. I'm like, all right, here we go. We out. Like, I don't know what to do. Knife in the other hand. A little David Bowie shit going on. I don't know.
Those things are scary.
Dude, it was weird.
Beautiful animals, but
Yeah, scared the
they're
shit out of
so
me.
very territorial.
So what if I should have done? Walked backwards and counted to 5 and like what?
Pray
Dude,
for your life.
Reacting is just the thing. I just reacted.
No, it's everybody's reaction is to, do something.
Get loud,
but
man. I got loud, screaming and shit like the bear thing. I freaked
move.
out. I'm not gonna be quiet and be like, "Oh, you can't fucking see me." She's like,
Yeah,
"What's
right.
up?" We made eye contact. I was like, "Oh, this ain't good."
Do you guys see that often? animals actually run towards you to get away from the fire?
Absolutely. They do. They do. And it depends on what way the fire is going. I mean, if it's more going down towards like a road area, then they're going to run up. They'll run like away from the fire.
Fire goes uphill. I just learned that.
Fire does go uphill. Good job. But it depends on where you're at. So you're not going to be at the head of the fire. You're going to be more like on the sides of it, and they call it the flank, which is at the bottom of the fire where it started. So if you're at the bottom of the fire and you've got like a town with your back turned, then they're going to try to run opposite way, if that makes any sense. But if say the fire is running east and you've got a mountainside to the west, they're obviously going to come running towards you. So it just depends on where the fire's at, what you're doing.
Do they get caught up in it a lot? Do you see a lot of like carnage animals? Really? They get tripped up in it and they can't get out. Damn.
Especially in the thick brush.
Yeah. Where that fucking moose was.
Yeah. A lot of gophers. Because they're down in the holes.
Gophers.
Oh,
Just
gophers.
go down deeper.
Oh, that doesn't do anything.
Probably takes the air right out of their little hole.
It's the heat. That kills more animals and people with the smoke than the flame itself.
Radiant heat sucks, huh?
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a blessing, to be honest. A lot of vehicle fires that we see that people don't get out, they're honestly dead before the flame even hits them. Because they suffocate.
Yeah.
Smoke.
Jesus.
I mean, that's actually, here's another thing. I'm a firefighter, but yet being burned alive is my biggest fear of the way to die. I'd rather drown. I'd rather get shot. I'd rather get ran over. I do not want to burn alive.
Then why are you a firefighter?
Right. Don't ask me.
Face that fear, right?
I don't know. I think it's the adrenaline. That trumps it all. I don't know.
That's scary.
Were you a pyro as a kid?
What?
A pyro?
No.
You were a troublemaker. I can see it all over your face. You were. You still are.
Yeah.
You got to be.
I'm curious about everything. So,
right.
Yeah, I touched everything and, how does this work?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Why? Don't hit the moose. Don't smack a moose.
Oh, what is it? What will it do?
Yeah, that's, hello.
Yeah.
Thank God she went the other way.
Hmm.
I don't fucking know what to do. What the fuck would you have done? Seriously, see? People.
I wouldn't be in that predicament.
Fly fishing. walking up the Weaver River with your little brother behind you, jammed a fly rod in my ass because we just jammed up there. I stopped. He couldn't even see me. He slammed into me. He didn't know what was even going on because you couldn't even hardly see. It was so thick. And I come through that little thing. She was right there. And I was like, sweet Jesus. It scared the shit out of me, dude. It was scary. We got stalked by a mountain lion one time as well, rabbit hunting. That was really scary with the tracks. We never seen it. We just felt it, dude.
I did.
We could feel it. We stopped to do the guy thing, the pee thing. We're just standing there. Set our guns. It was in the taller brush and set our guns against the big tall sagebrush. And we're just talking. I'm like, it fucking just feels like weird, dude. He's like, yeah, I don't know. It's quiet, dude. Death quiet. And we're in this, it's getting too tall for rabbit hunting. I don't know. I'm sure you've rabbit hunted. It's about yo tall. Getting almost to our height. And like, we got to turn around, man. Let's go the other way. Start walking out the other way and in the snow. And there are goddamn mountain lion tracks coming and bounded at some point, probably when we stopped. But dude, that was the freakiest thing I've never seen it, but it was nothing there when we walked through.
Have you ever felt like you're being watched?
That was it. That was it. We were. And it was the scariest shit I've ever felt in my life. Cougar tracks. I don't know. Not that kind of cougar. That's my favorite kind.
Hey.
Hey-o. They were, I don't know about yo. Big
That's
kitty.
a big cat.
I don't, yeah.
That's a big cat.
Never seen her, but whatever. It was following us-ish for
I actually see him all the
couple
time
hundred feet.
hunting. When I'm deer hunting, I see him all the time.
I was told my buddy runs them, dogs, for a living. That's what he does. He hunts kitties, and he's a lineman as well. And he told me the Wasatch Front is some of the hottest hunting in the world. Yep. He goes every nation. He goes all over the nation to do it in the Wasatch Front. Everybody comes from everywhere to hunt. Zion area, whatever. We got some other little spots, but the Wasatch Front, he said, it is hot, man. It's scary, man.
Yeah.
They're all over the Wasatch Front.
You know, and believe it or not, like we run cattle up in the mountains, right? And we've never had an issue with a cougar taking one of our cattle.
So they got plenty of food, apparently.
I guess so. So we've never had an issue. We've actually had more issues with people randomly shooting the cattle than
randomly shooting the cattle.
Mm-hmm.
And getting the cattle or leaving it lay there?
No, just leaving it lay there.
That's good for them. That's great. Why would somebody do that?
And we can't even catch them. There is nothing that we can do about that.
Your brother told me it's the Wild Wild West up there. He said there is some shit going on up there you would not even want to know. When his pistol, when he was hunting,
oh my gosh, now that was a scary deal.
He told me that story, dude. I was like, are you fucking serious, bro?
And we went up several times for, I don't know,
on your own private
long,
property.
Trying to search for that thing. Because it's like, how can anybody think it's okay to do something like that? So we searched that entire mountain for I don't know how long.
That's scary.
Up and down. We had several people spread out and just walk that whole knoll. Never found it.
Somebody grabbed it. Somebody snuck up and that's not cool, man.
No.
That's what he was saying. There's some tricky shit up in there sometimes.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know.
I'm going to stay down here and tattoo and be in my little hole here.
I love the mountains, though.
I do too.
Like, I love to be up there.
I do too. I wish I had the access. I can't even leave for 5 minutes, though. I haven't left this house in 3 weeks. All I do is work. That's it. My free time is today with you.
I don't know how you
right
do
here. This is my free day. Wednesday is my only free day, man.
I mean, I like my house, don't get me wrong, but I have to get out there. So,
dude, I hear you.
I have to be outside.
I think it's healthy for your soul, man.
I have to. I
used to live for it, hunting and fishing, and I just love to be out there. I swear to God, I don't do anything but work in here now. It's just nonsense. I'm here fabbing.
You need to take a moment.
I do.
Need to do something for you.
Go slap a moose in the ass with a fly rod.
Okay, not that, but.
Well, if you're not playing with fire, not getting burned, no pun. Right? You got to get out there and do shit or nothing's going to happen. No. It's real, though.
Hey, it's an adventure. You have a story now. I mean, it's pretty funny slapping a moose with a fly fishing rod.
Jed, if he was here,
it's pretty funny.
Not cool. That's not cool.
I just have this.
We caught a duck
head,
one time too, fly fishing in Weber Canyon. Same thing. He did casting. He fly fished.
Yeah.
Long cast, a lot of shit, a lot of he did
back and forth.
Did this big old cast, big old 20, 30 foot, just to, and that fucking thing took off. He's like, what the hell? He snagged a duck as it come flying by in midair.
That's luck.
Mallard duck.
That's
there
luck
you go.
right there.
Unexplainable. It fucking hooked the duck. It's pretty easy. I don't know, man. It took off. And he's like, what do I do? I'm like, I fucking stopped that reel, man. He stopped it and the duck just hit the water and anyway, it come out. But yeah, that's a good story. Damn. I don't know how
That's pretty good.
That's pretty dope. So we've done a little bit of wild stuff, but nothing crazy like fighting fires. No. Or losing a gun when you're hunting. That's not cool.
So a crazy story. When I was, I don't know, I have probably 10, 11, something like that. Me and my cousins, we were all up at the property, 4th of July. We wanted just to have a camp out, just us. And we were just going to sleep under the stars. And it was probably 9, 10 o'clock at night. And we're all just sitting there chatting. And we hear this sound like a mountain lion was literally tearing something apart. It was it was the scariest sound I've ever heard.
In the dark.
And even my adult cousins at the time were even freaked out. And we sat there for a minute and it just kept happening over and over again. We were like, screw this. We're out of here. Like, who knows what this is? And as we went to the last gate before the oil road.
Jump in a truck or something?
Oh, yeah. We just jumped in.
Jesus, I just sit by that fire. I don't know.
No, we were too scared.
I'm out.
Like, to stay there. We had to do something. We had to leave.
Yeah.
But as we got to the last gate, this kid was flagging us down. His buddy was night riding without lights on his four-wheeler and hit the gate. Went up and over the gate, no helmet, landed on his head. He was bleeding out, eyes, nose, ears.
Oh.
We saved his life. He had permanent brain damage.
Was he running from the same horse, like getting out of dog?
No, he was the opposite
They were
side.
just messing around.
He was opposite side. But if it hadn't been for that, like this kid would have died.
Right.
And we went up the next day and we tried to find if there was any evidence of like an animal being torn apart by a cougar or something. Couldn't find anything. No blood trail, no, nothing. That's luck.
I'm not coming to the Rose place. I'm not going up there.
Why?
Because
No, you're perfectly fine.
you guys just scare me. All these stories. Your brother had a bunch of them. I'm like, no. We had property, well, Deep Creek.
Okay, next time when he's here, ask him about Sasquatch.
No.
That's a funny
Don't
story.
even go there.
It is so hilarious.
Do you believe in Sasquatch?
No.
Holy fuck. Do you?
Yeah,
Jesus.
I do.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, I'm a true believer in it. I don't know why, but I am.
Yeah, just ask him about graduation night in Sasquatch. That's a good story.
I would love to hear
It's
it.
funny.
He's
funny
a
as
fucking
hell.
storyteller, man. That kid, he was going to come down tonight. I don't know. He was going to hang out and watch, but
He didn't even tell me.
he was, I don't know what his deal is. He said he was going to, but I don't know what happened.
I'm going to text him being like, what the hell? You're supposed to come with me?
Next time it's roses.
Yeah.
I need a pair of roses in here.
My grandpa and my uncle, my great uncle, were called the pair of roses because they played sports together. Football, basketball, wrestling.
Probably the
They were the
toughest
pair of
fucking
roses.
dudes ever walked, probably.
I would say so.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
You got to be tough with last name Rose, dog.
You have to be.
If you're a guy, a girl, it's like, oh, I'm the Rose.
Oh, hell no.
No.
And don't say, do you ever smell so sweet? Because I get that all the time.
Well, you're the only girl out of what?
Gosh.
4 boys? Or how was it?
3 boys.
3 boys and you. So you're tough. You're fucking tough.
Being the oldest, I mean, I still get pounded on. My brother still can throw me up over their shoulder like I was nothing, you know? And I'm like, don't forget who's older.
I'm your goddamn sister.
Doesn't,
Legs are going like.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But it doesn't matter my age. I do it anyway. It's okay.
I wish he would have came down. He was gonna sit here with you.
I do too.
Well, shit. I'll give him
Kind of
shit next
pissed
time.
now.
We're starting a big old tatty on him.
I know. I saw
Did you see it?
I did.
It's huge, dude.
He is one that
It just come out of nowhere. He takes his shirt off, and I'm like, "Dude, you got nipple rings, bro." I'm like, "What the fuck? This is so left field. I didn't even see this shit coming."
And other than his wife,
a big old badass tat. I'm
I'm
like,
the only one that knows.
we can edit that.
Well, yeah.
He can cut
but-
that out.
We tell each other quite a bit.
He's
but
cool, man. I cracked that kid. You said I would, and I didn't know. I was like, I don't think he's gonna talk.
I know that kid, and he knows me.
He's fucking
And I
cool.
know that after it might take a couple of times or whatever, but he comes out of his shell. And same with me. I think I'm a little bit more open because of my job.
Sure.
I mean, I deal with a lot of politics, you know, and so I have to get up in front of people all the time. So I kind of get out of my shell a little bit faster and easier. But he does eventually.
You guys talk all proper, like I said before. You're all serious, and things are like calculated, and I'm just throwing shit out there.
We're so similar. Our brain is like wired almost the same.
He's cool, man. He said he's an EMT as well. He's working.
He's working on it. Yeah,
Yeah, man. Cool.
Yeah, he's working on it, and he just decided to do fire too.
That's cool.
So he's excited.
Working with his big little sister.
Big little sister. I know. They're all well. I have the brother that's just down from me. He's just a tad taller than Sean. So we've got, I think,
Tall and skinny.
he's like 6'5", and Sean's 6'3".
That's tall.
And then I have a brother that's 5'8", but he's stocky. He's thick. And then there's me. 5'5".
The perfect rose.
Exactly.
Don't say that though. What
That's
up?
all right. A rose, it is what it is.
We got to tattoo
Wow.
a rose somewhere.
Me?
Something cool. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Got a big rose coming up. What do you always have really cool questions.
I was just gonna ask you, like, is it difficult working with other wardens in different counties in Utah? Or do you not work with anybody else? You just kind of
I don't work with them as often. Being separate counties, the only time we really work together is if they like request you to help out on a fire. But most of the time, if you do that, then you have to find somebody else to cover your county. So not often. I worked with a couple of them. Weber County's fire warden, I work with a lot, just because he is really good friends with Boyd. And so where Boyd is training me, Cooper's kind of taken me under his wing too. And so I have worked with the Weber County fire warden quite a bit, but the others.
You guys come up to the mountain together, right? Is it split up there?
We
Is
do.
that
Yeah.
like the
we do.
cutoff kind of?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Huntsville area over there in Eden.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, because Weber County goes clear up into there, don't they?
Mhm.
That's
Up
weird.
through Causey and clear up that way.
What's the biggest misconception about fire?
That it goes down uphill.
No, how fast it can change though. People don't understand how much wind actually can change fire behavior. Wind changes all the time. Speed, direction. You can have wind coming in 3 different directions. And then in the center, you have this whirlwind, which causes a wind tunnel for smoke. And that's dangerous, super dangerous. So I think I would say wind is the biggest misconception
And
for people.
green will also burn as well, right?
Green
If it
will
gets hot
burn.
enough,
If it gets hot enough.
it'll burn right through green shit.
Mhm.
That's creepy.
It's just like live wood.
Yeah.
It will burn,
Just got to get hot enough.
but it will take time because it's got to dry out
Yeah.
and then it burns.
You mentioned that firefighters, most of them work on being volunteers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how can the public really help support our firefighters?
Really, by if you can bring water, bring Gatorade, bring protein bars, stuff like that really means a lot to people. Going to your local fire department and giving them treats, giving them a thank you card for even just protecting the community is a huge deal to us. We have this wall that we dedicate to like thank you cards that we get. And it's just a simple thank you card. And it could be that we did something for you or not. They're just being grateful that there's somebody in the community that is willing to put their life at risk for somebody else, whether you know them or not. So just simple stuff like that.
And chances are most people don't know you. That's even more. It's line work's kind of the same thing. People don't know. Certain people aren't known. You just kind of you're there. It's cool.
And I don't do this to be known. I don't want the fame and glory of it, but just knowing that I've made a difference in somebody's life is huge for me.
That's cool, man. Mm-hmm. That's why we like to talk to all of you. You guys are all my clients that come here, and I love to hear all that and put it out there. I think it's cool because there's a lot of stuff I had no idea.
Yeah.
As simple as the 911 thing, and it just kept going up. Now we're to fire people. We've talked to cops and all the different. Man, you really sit and listen to the shit everybody goes through. It's so bizarre.
We do take so much. I got punched in the face by a patient the other night, believe it or not.
You did?
I did. She didn't know what she was doing. And so we kind of laughed it off. But people don't understand that we take a lot of abuse, whether it's physically or mentally.
Both.
You punch her back?
No, I couldn't because I had her hands down as tight as I could, and we ended up restraining her and everything.
Just whacked out on something.
She had some type of infection, and when that happens, it can make anybody go cuckoo. CCF, CCP, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That's what we call them.
Jesus.
Whether they understand what they're doing or not, when they're knowingly doing something, I don't tolerate that. Do I ever get physical back? No, because that's not who I am. That's not who we are, as EMTs. But
you can restrain, though.
I can restrain. Yeah.
This happened in Morgan?
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are a small town.
This is one where I haven't gotten any report back as far as exactly what was going on. She is kind of a repeater as far as patient-wise, but for different reasons.
Where do people go? Do they go down to Weber County?
Ogden Regional or McCady.
Not up Park City, unless you're way the
No,
hell up on the other side of Hartscrabble or something.
If we go up like Big Mountain,
Yeah.
exactly, then most of the time we'll transport to the U of U.
How far up there do you go? To Big Mountain? Do you go up?
Big Mountain, the top of Big Mountain
Okay.
is the Salt Lake Morgan border.
That's huge area.
It
dude.
takes us
That's a long
from the
fucking drive.
station to the top of that mountain, 40 minutes.
Yeah, dude. I'm sure of it.
We hate calls like that because it's like you're trying to hurry as fast as you can, but those roads are windy.
Oh, it's beautiful
It's
up there.
horrible though.
So beautiful.
And it takes us so long to get up there.
Yeah.
You know, we're trying to actually work on getting a station and some apparatus put at East Canyon. So at least it's kind of a halfway point.
Dude, you guys use drones for stuff to look, to take a quick...
We don't. We've actually talked about it. We've actually thought about getting a drone for like fire.
Yeah, man.
Because it actually can help lookouts.
Hell
big
yeah.
time, you know. A lot of other counties, bigger counties, Tooele has one that they've used on several of their fires.
Power Company has 3
Utah
of them
County. Yeah.
to
it's
do
such
quick.
a great idea.
Dude, they're badass.
Yeah.
And they'll fly for like 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
God, till they crash and
Oh,
start
hell,
a fire.
That's all I need.
They got a go home button. Fuck, the one's like 4 feet tall, bro. It's huge.
Dang.
Big old camera they can watch it at.
This would be fun.
And they can fly it right from the shop, man. And it'll take off clear up. And it'll go 2-ish Big Mountain. Just flying it with the screen. It's trippy.
Yeah.
So that would be super handy for you guys
It would.
to get up and see something quick or
Yeah.
deploy something quick to go, I don't know, just check,
A lot of times.
guide people.
Well, it depends on the situation, but we'll call Life Flight for something like that because they can honestly get there quicker.
They're amazing human beings, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Those people are amazing people.
One of
too.
my favorite things is to land a chopper. I know it sounds kind of.
LZ Commander.
Oh, yeah. I
Cool.
love to land a chopper. I have been, in a way, it kind of sucks to land a chopper because you get pelted. And it depends where. I mean, if you're at East Canyon, you have to land on, the sand. You get pelted. But I like doing it. It's just fun. It's an adrenaline thing.
Totally. Pulling smoke.
Oh, yeah.
All that, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Used to do lots of that. That's fun stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
They're coming for a reason, but boy, it's like a breath of fresh air when they're there because they are fucking incredible humans.
Especially with children. I do not hesitate to call a chopper with any adolescent
Yeah.
or infant because their knowledge is so much greater than mine and they can get to primary so much faster. Not very often. Technically, we're not even supposed to go to primaries unless we are close enough, like Big Mountain. Then we can. Then it's kind of a short drive. But if there is somebody in Morgan County that needs to go to primaries, we'll either get special permission from medical control, which is calling a hospital and getting a doctor's like, hey, I've got this and this and this. They're requesting to go to primaries. What do you think? But most of the time in our protocols, we are to go to the nearest hospital, which is McKay or Ogden Regional. Then from there, they can decide whether or not they need to go to primaries. And then they can fly them from right there.
Dude, it's getting big enough up there. They need a hospital up there.
I know.
With Snow Basin and shit right there.
know.
You guys need a
But
hospital.
you have to also look at it too. So depending on where you're at in Ogden or Layton, we can actually get to a hospital faster from Morgan because we don't have stoplights.
Yeah,
It is direct freeway. So we can get, depending on where we're at, but we can get to a hospital within 20 minutes.
True. I guess it's just down the canyon. The
So it
canyon's good.
depends. I mean, if somebody in Ogden's closer to Ogden Regional, okay, obviously they're going to get there faster. But a majority of the time, we can actually, our call times are within just minutes from like Weber County or Davis County.
How far the other way do you go? Just to Trappers? Like just up to...
Yeah.
Like
so like Snow Basin
top
Road
of-
is kind of
yeah.
our county line there.
Gotcha.
And then just before the first Hennifer exit,
Mm-hmm.
there is also
So
our
like
line.
just Devil's Slide, just around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just right.
That's a big area, dude.
600 square miles.
That's a big. To me, that's big.
It is actually quite large. It's obviously not as big as like Weber County, you know.
But it's all rugged, man.
But-
The mountains are gnarly. The
Yeah.
Taggart fire, when our power line shit, we had to do all up there. Oh dear God,
Yeah.
that was horrible. That Taggart fire was no joke. It got our power lines bad. Were you part of that? That whole canyon burn up? I don't even remember
No.
what year it was.
No, that's been.
I don't even know.
Was it 16, 15?
Something like that.
I think it was.
We were up there with Wasatch rebuilding all that. It
Yeah.
all fell down. It all
Yeah.
it was a mess. So yeah, I used to work with you guys quite a bit doing all that stuff. It's gnarly.
Well, and then with Weber Canyon, or not Weber Canyon, Weber River, I also do water rescue.
Oh really?
Uh-huh.
What don't you do? Except for sleep
Sleep. I think I do it all.
and get married.
Yeah. I just like to stay busy, but it's fun. It's fun. Water rescues.
Water rescue.
Man,
That's scary, man.
different. Yeah. Whole different.
I don't know. I hate swimming.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Do you like swimming? I fucking hate swimming. I'm not a swimmer.
I love water.
I'll stay.
You're scared to burn alive. I'm scared to drown.
Dude,
That's actually very common. It's very common.
so you're East Canyon, Pine View, or you don't go to Pine View then? That's them.
Pine View is
So
Weber-
East Canyon.
East Canyon.
What other You don't go to Mountaindale Reservoir.
East Canyon's the only one.
So
other
that's the
than their
big water.
Rivers.
Yeah. There's a lot of rafting in that Weber River, no? Dude,
Taggart's.
yeah, Taggart's.
That's our number one place that we always get called to during the summer
It's a rocky
for
bitch.
water rescue. The bridges, the rocks.
It's rocky down through there.
Yeah.
That's where I smacked the moose.
Oh my! I'm sorry. I'm not gonna be able to drive past there now without even thinking about that. I'm gonna have this image of you smacking this moose with a fly rod.
I'm just glad to be here to tell you this story.
I just-
You've done all this cool shit. I slap a moose with a fly rod. And I'm some, like, Rambo. I was scared to
I
fucking
think it's-
death.
I think it's funny.
I didn't know what to do. I'll do it again.
I don't know about smacking with a fly rod, but
You're in trouble with a fly rod. It's like a little,
like I said, that's probably a tiny little sting to that thing.
little joust, little poke.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, I didn't know what to
Oh,
do.
was that a tree branch?
I freaked out. I was like, oh.
Was that a leaf?
I did have a pistol, but I was like, it was first. I was like, heck, pa!
I don't think so. No, that's pretty good though.
That's pretty weird, huh? Do you have anything crazy like that?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Like some deer come running out of the thing in a fire and like you hopped on this majestic steed down the mountain you go kind of thing?
No. No. I wish. That would actually be kind of cool. But no.
But the mountain lion story, that's pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
They're scary, dude. You don't ever see them.
Oh, when they sit there and stalk you?
They're so quiet.
Oh yeah.
And you just can't hear them. It's bizarre. Elk are the same way. If they're
How
not
do you
bugling,
think they get their prey? They
can't
are
even see
so
'em.
quiet.
oh, it's creepy. And they're huge.
Big
Oh,
kitty cats.
I'm good. I'm good on all that. I'm going to stay down here where it's safe by this fire I'm not supposed to have.
You can have this fire.
Can I?
Yes.
You sure?
This is safe.
It's my
This
only
is
source
fine.
of heat.
There you go. See?
We
That's all you
cook on
gotta-
it.
that's all you gotta
It's
say.
horrible.
That's all you got to say. It's my source of heat. No,
Why-
but these are okay.
I love that stove. I love it.
Oh, I wouldn't get rid of it.
I think if you're safe, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Be safe out there, people. Right?
Right?
Ask your fire people. They will answer your questions.
Yeah.
Call and ask.
It doesn't ever hurt to call and ask. Because what happens is if, say somebody knew that they were supposed to have a burn permit or that they weren't supposed to burn and their pile gets out of hand, they lose it, it starts spreading. Now they're responsible for every cost.
You get charged. Fuck.
And then if it gets onto somebody else's property and damages a structure,
You're paying
they're
for
reliable for that now.
it.
Those people can go back and sue. So why?
Because they're not
Why
educated.
Not just listen.
They're not. Yeah.
And that's what I hope to do.
I think it's lack of education, man. Because if I was told, that's something you'd listen to. Like, holy shit. Okay, that'll sober you up quick. Like, I'm gonna listen to this.
Yeah. I had somebody call in the other day when we had that open burn day for a burn permit, but it was later in the day and the wind was starting to pick up a little bit. And I said, okay, but here's the deal. You can have a burn permit, but if it gets out of hand, this is what could happen. So, take every precaution. Try to have a water source out there. Have a hose out there. I'm really, when somebody requests a burn permit, I always look at their address to see where they're located. Are they up against a hill? Are they actually more in the city? What is surrounding them? Yeah. Because that all depends on what speech I give them.
Right.
If they're up against a mountain, I'm be like, okay, so here's your fire could potentially get away from you, and here's what could happen if it does.
You don't want to be responsible for burning down a mountain full.
No, because it's still so dry.
Yeah.
Even now, I still tell people, okay, you got to be careful because it's dry. Just because it's cold doesn't mean a fire can't start.
For sure.
And spread. Now, when the sun goes down, that's a different story. It will usually die down. When it's this cold, that sun goes away, there's really no heat source, right? Because the sun heats up things, right? Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter how cold it is.
So it's already getting there.
Yeah. So once that sun goes down, it starts getting super cold. There's nothing to continue that heat.
Yeah.
And so it usually dies down. So wintertime, you're usually fairly safe, but it doesn't mean that it still can't get away from you during the day.
Right.
Just like the one on Saturday.
Listen to your damn fire warden.
Don't walk away. I don't care what you're burning. Yeah. Don't ever walk away.
Have a question, because you were talking about I believe it was the barrel,
a barrel.
I seen one of those downtown. Are there restrictions, like they can't have it next to the building, or
it is actually technically illegal to even burn in a barrel, no matter what. I know. And in all honesty, turn
that TV off. Turn that TV off.
I'm not going to go and be like, oh, you can't burn in a barrel.
Why?
Why can you
not burn in a barrel?
It's just more dangerous.
It's
that way. It's a radiant heat thing.
Yeah.
You
think it would be contained, right?
Yeah. But if you have it up against something, I mean, if you're going to have it in the middle of somewhere where it can't get out of hand, or it's that heat, that radiant heat isn't going to catch something else, I let it go. I'm okay with that. Because I don't think you're really hurting anything, in all honesty. And I will admit, when we bring home cattle and we're vaccinating and it is freezing cold, we have a barrel out for heat.
You'd think that would be more controlled than like an open pit kind of thing.
You would think, but it's not. It's actually illegal.
Illegal.
But it depends on your fire warden.
Well, I know the Morgan County one.
And I will let it go more than anything, honestly.
I wish you were Davis County one. We need to talk to whoever that is.
I don't even know who the Davis County warden is.
Is it a county-to-county thing, right? Every county has its own.
Yeah. We don't deal with Davis as much. It's just Weber County, because Weber actually correlates with Morgan. So, we're the Weber-Morgan Health Department, Weber and Morgan Dispatch, so Davis County is completely separate.
Yeah, you share the canyon and kind of thing. You kind of trip each other up right there through all there.
Pretty much.
Help each other out.
Yeah. I know. So much.
I don't use my barrel very often.
What barrel?
With water. What barrel? There's water everywhere.
Hey, as long as you're being safe, I don't really care.
Yeah, I have a barrel. Not gonna lie.
Same with campfires. If you've got a campfire, now depending. If it's July when it's super hot, then I will say absolutely no campfires. Absolutely not. But a burn barrel is a little different.
What about the little propane things you can get at the store?
That's preferable.
Those are okay.
Mm-hmm. That's what we actually tell
people. You can
people.
throw wood in them and everything. They're fine. Just an open ring thing.
Just if it's propane, you don't use wood to burn. That's what we prefer. That's what we like to ask people to do. They're like, well, how are we supposed to have a campfire? You know, you can't go camping without a campfire. Yeah, propane.
Yeah. Just get you a fake one going there, fella.
Gonna have to. Again, it's all okay. Do you want to be responsible?
We're
for
so
this?
obsessed with fire, aren't we? Humans? It's a thing.
Oh yeah,
It's like a thing.
Yeah.
Going in the mountains.
fascinating.
You need a fire. You gotta have your fire. They're
I
fucking scary.
don't like not having a campfire when I'm camping. But
call. Be careful.
call. And also, I mean, growing up, my dad never allowed us to have campfires when it was in the middle of summer anyway, because the cattle was up there. And if something happened, I mean, it's my dad's livelihood.
Right.
You know, it was the cattle and the property. He always says if the cattle wasn't up there, screw it. He'd go and start it himself, you know, just to burn all the old sagebrush and all that stuff.
Isn't it? Is it healthy?
Absolutely.
I've heard. Yeah, it reseeds
It
and
is.
it regrows beautifully, and it's unbelievable what fire does do for the landscape.
It is just unpredictable. And that's why more people don't do that.
Yeah.
It's so unpredictable.
So sometimes
Change.
if it's safe, they'll let them go, like to the ridge tops and stuff. You can tell that's happening.
Yeah. We'll even
And
do
then
what's
3
called
years later,
broadcast
it's like
burns.
so beautiful, or however many
Yeah.
years, but it's way more green.
That's
and
why a lot of people,
grass is thicker.
the agriculture burns, is because people with farms, crops,
Yeah.
they'll burn their ditches or their actual fields because it comes back better.
Yeah. Gets the ground
Yep.
nutrient stuff going again. It's bizarre.
Yeah. Farmers have a little bit more lenience and more permission than just regular residents do as far as burning.
And they'll have a whole road going. I grew up right here. Like, you'll see it's for miles.
Yep.
They got a little hoe.
Yep.
I'm like, I got a barrel with a fucking hose. I'm good. They got 2 miles of shit burning down the street, and they got a little hoe out there on the edge of the road scraping up some dirt.
And
I'm like,
even Boyd, being in the fire for
What's he
I don't
gonna
know,
do,
20
man?
something years, he still doesn't understand why is it the farmers have a little bit more of
a
a
lot more.
permission than, you know,
It's crazy,
or a
dude.
single resident. And it's all because their livelihood.
Sure.
It's what they live on, you know. So
And they're
how
so
and
used
why that
to
takes
it.
precedence, I don't really get it. I
Yeah.
know it's your livelihood, but
It's scary though. They'll get some big shit going. It's huge out here, man. Used to be huge farm country, and they'll burn for miles. Big scary fires, and they're just out, no water, nowhere.
we grew up
Out there with a little
burning
hose,
ditches.
little hoe, little scraping the ground. I'm like, dude, what
Yep.
the fuck are you? You're
We're-
by yourself.
We're all careful.
Yeah, they
You
know
know?
what they're doing, man. They keep it contained somehow. A little hoe.
We do. And
It's scary.
do what we got to do.
Well, I think it's cool that you educate people, man. Keep your Facebook thing going.
I will.
Do you want to talk about? Do you want to plug it? Do you want to tell what it is?
My Facebook page?
Yeah, with your fire information on it.
What do you want me to say about it?
Anything you want. Do people know about it? People just know to go find it.
Yeah, I've tried to invite people as much as I can.
So is it your own personal thing?
It is mine.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
thought you
and
started it for the county or
Nope.
something.
So it is Morgan County Wildland
Gotcha.
Facebook page. Anybody can actually not Google it, but find it on Facebook and follow it, like it, whatever. If you guys want to, go right ahead. It's
Absolutely.
open to anybody and everybody. So I'm hoping that, you know, right now I want to focus more on Morgan County, but if it gets out to, you know, people like you down here, more the merrier. That
For sure.
helps, you know, the wardens down this way educate people. Restrictions, every county is different. So maybe my restrictions that I put on my page pertains just to Morgan, but it's still good to be aware.
It'll be cool to know if you're heading up that way. If
Yeah.
you know what's up, if you're going
Yeah.
up in there.
Because there's a lot of places, counties that actually ban fireworks in some places.
Yep.
And it's all how close you are to the mountain. So like we have county restrictions, we have city restrictions. If you live in the city, you are okay to have, you know, this type of firework. Any aerial firework is illegal anyway in Morgan. Do they do it? Yeah. Can we
Dude,
catch everybody? No.
they go
but
ape shit down here.
We try. But aerial, they're illegal anyway.
I don't get why people, they're $10 million to even light
I
the
know.
goddamn thing, and they're just
They
a
still
pain
do
in
it
the ass.
anyway. It
Yeah.
is what it is.
This
But
guy
we can't
behind
catch
us,
everybody.
oh my God, he gets it. I don't know if they're legal down here, but
I don't know.
whoo, this
I
guy
know.
behind me fires them up. They're a fucking nightmare. I hate them.
I
And they're
don't-
so expensive.
I don't like fireworks. I
good.
never have.
I'll sit and watch, I guess, from afar. I don't know.
I don't even like to do that.
They're scary.
The little ones on the ground, like your smoke bombs and your little worms that, I don't know what they're called. Those are fine. But when it comes to the big, noisy fireworks, I've
Dude.
never liked them.
West Point puts on a show. It's like, it's one of the craziest ones I've ever seen. It's
Really?
oh, yeah. It's wild.
I'm sure it's cool. I'm not big on it.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's noise, because I like loud noises. But I just don't know what it is about fireworks. I've never liked them.
We just sit on our roof and you can see them
Oh,
everywhere.
I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could. As a kid, we used to go up to the cemetery because the cemetery was high enough you could overlook all of Morgan. And so we would watch them everywhere.
It's a cool place up there, man.
Yeah.
I like it up
I love
there.
my little home.
Don't ever leave there.
No.
That's going to be the new little Park City here coming soon.
Oh, please no.
A lot of people moving there,
Please
man.
don't say that.
It's getting hot.
It is. It
Lot
really
of
is.
people
And you can't stop it. You can't stop it anywhere. But
Posty knows about it.
oh, hell, Post Malone.
Swear to God.
You know, I didn't even know who he was until he showed up in Morgan that one time, and it was like post all over Facebook, and I'm like, who in the hell's Post Malone? I didn't know his music. I never heard his name.
He's so
And his
lit.
music's actually not that bad.
It's
I
great.
like a couple of his songs.
This cat DJs, he knows all about it.
Posty. He's something else.
There's got to be something up there if he likes it.
Well, it's because it's a lot of open country.
It is cool up there, man. You got to go up there. Check it out. We'll go slap a fucking moose on the head with a fly rod.
Hell.
Can't need something bigger than a 9 to go up there.
Tag it 40. I carry 40. That's my concealed.
Maybe if you can get it in the head, okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm really, really.
Are you a good shot?
Oh, yeah.
Because you're going to have to be.
I just have a lot of bullets. Clip after clip
Because
after
no
clip.
fly rod is going to do you justice. Like, it's not going to do anything for you.
It's all sideways. The first hand, and then clip. Yeah.
Yeah, good luck. That moose is going to get you before you can even pull that sucker out of the holster.
Hopefully the loud bang keeps it away.
I doubt it.
You'll be halfway in its mouth.
God, they're fucking scary, dude. They're not afraid of anything either.
2 steps is like your 10, so
Yeah,
good
they're
luck.
fucking huge.
They'll get you before you can even turn around.
Right behind Round Valley, bro, just below it.
There was a video that went viral a few months ago of 2 fighting in Canada.
2 moose?
Driveway. Pretty gnarly.
What's 2 moose?
They're
What the hell's a
monsters.
double moose? What's 2 mooses? Moose-eye. Moose. Moosin. Mooses.
Well, if it,
Ox
I
is
don't know.
ox
Moose?
is oxen. Deer.
It's not meese. It's not meese.
Fuck,
Like goose,
see?
geese.
This is where I need my
Goose
damn
meese.
YouTube.
No, that doesn't work.
Mooses.
Mooses.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I sound so
Everybody-
professional. More than one fox is a skulk. Figure that out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, not foxen. It's a skulk.
Foxes.
Crow is a murder, right?
heard of
Multiple crow is a murder.
Really?
Oh, dude, I got all kinds of dumb shit like that in his head.
That's good to know.
It's a murder. When there's more than one crow or raven, it's a murder.
Oh, you would be a good narrator for like a murder mystery. You've got the voice
with
for
that
it.
scary voice. I just have to have it where I could read it. Because if I have to like make it up, it's gonna be
Oh,
fucking
no,
chaos.
You would be good. I would like read it once though, or a couple of times, so you kind of know what's ahead, and then you could really put some emphasis on like words and phrases, and you would be
Afflection.
good.
To have deflection in the voice,
Yeah, you
up
would.
and down.
See, right there.
So
He-
2 moose, a pair of moose are just called moose.
No mooses, moose eye.
A pair is
Google
moose.
says some people put an S at the end of it, but the correct term or the correct wording of 2 or more moose are moose.
Tell me that a fox is a skulk, and tell me I'm crazy.
Skull.
More than one fox. I believe it's called a skulk.
Never even heard of a skull.
Figure that shit out. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure in my bizarre
Vixen. Oh no, that's a female.
Vixen's in that chair right there. That's a vixen. She's a fox.
It's called a group of foxes are called a
Skulk. Skulk. And a murder is a murder of crow. Murder of crow be more than one. It's fucking weird. Deers. Mooses.
I don't know. Deers.
Fires. Those are fires.
Fires.
Multiple fires.
Fires. Fires is.
It's a good goddamn thing I'm not trying to go to college or anything with I'll stick to this podcast. But maybe I'll tell stories,
Tell stories.
scary stories.
Yeah. Be a narrator.
Okay.
That would be good.
We could do that.
I could see you doing that.
Let's start reading stories. We can do that. But when I try to read shit, it's a mess. And I don't read well.
Well, that's why you just read it a few times.
When I read Stephanie's thing, I don't know how that sounded, but I felt super chaotic in my head trying to read it. I got to tell myself to slow down. I'm getting there.
Good.
Age.
At least you acknowledge it.
What else
You're
do we
aware
got?
of it.
We got
Are you serious? Oh my gosh.
Was it so much fun?
Yeah, it doesn't even seem like it's been that long. I was thinking more like an hour, but
Dude, it's bizarre.
great.
Some of them are like, it's 3 hours. I'm like, holy shit. I'm sorry.
I think it's been great.
It's cool, man. We enjoyed having you. I
you.
think it's cool. The knowledge needs to be out there. It does.
People are just unaware, and that's what I want my job to be, is just to help educate people.
When I think, to my belief, it feels to me, maybe coming from me, people don't want to be controlled, right? Like, you can't this, you can't that. Well, maybe there's a goddamn reason for it.
Yeah.
Like, listen, man, listen.
And it's how you actually, like, your way of saying things. If you come out and say, well, you're doing this wrong, reword it. You know? Say, hey, look, you're not in trouble, but I'm just here to educate you.
Yep.
You know? Here's why.
It's psychology. It's not how you say. It's not what you say. It's how you say it. It's not what you say.
Because you can say the same thing in multiple ways
Yes.
and still get the point across. That's what I want to do.
Kill him with kindness. With a rose.
Rose.
Kill him with a rose.
Should I just show up with a rose?
Your teeth. You see our.
Oh my God.
I'm sure our TikToks. Michael Myers with a rose in his mouth. That's
I've
pretty
seen a
dope.
couple of those.
I was on this crane flying across the garage with a rose in my mouth. Maybe you show up with a rose in your mouth. I don't know.
Maybe. I'll do
Listen
what I
here.
have to.
That's serious, man. It's real. People need to know. I do think that's a thing. They need to know. And nobody knows. They don't want to be controlled. People don't want to be controlled. And if you're told to do something, police, anybody's coming at you with some shit, you're like, man. But God, dude, you need to listen. Some of the shit you told me was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Information that people need to know. Burn permit. Somebody's like, I always thought it was such a scary thing to do, and it's not, man.
All it is just to warn dispatch and us that you're burning.
There's so nothing wrong with
So you're
that.
just not wasting resources and money and time. And
The more I'm doing this, the more educated I be, which I desperately need. I'm getting more and more educated with all this stuff, dude. And I think it's cool. That's why I love doing this show, and talking to all
I
you,
think it's awesome.
all you people that people don't know, man.
They
They don't. Like, we get into these deep things, and I'm just blown the fuck away the whole time. I think everybody else is looking at me like, dude, really? But I think it's cool. Because it's stuff I didn't know. That 911 thing blew my fucking mind how little I knew about that.
Right? You just think it's somebody talking on the phone, taking your information.
That was so
Absolutely
bizarre.
not. They're talking to PD. They're talking to EMTs.
To
they're
you.
Talking to you. Yeah.
They're talking to you.
Multiple.
Like, you guys are all tied, man. It's so cool. You guys are amazing human beings.
Yeah.
You truly are.
Thank you.
We're all so I'm very grateful to have you.
Thanks.
Even though you're Morgan. But
Hey, Morgan's great.
you're not here to, you're not going to be down here to help. I don't even know. We got to get to know our people here. So hook us up with Davis County people.
See what I
We'll
can
just
do.
go there. We'll give them a card.
There you go.
Like you said.
Go to your local fire department.
Hug your firefighters, please. And your,
Let them know how much they're appreciated.
and your
Because
EMTs.
we don't get it a lot.
Right.
We really don't.
I went by my local one. So my last name's Adams, and that's the name of the station, is Adams Station. So I was like, that's really cool. So I went over there, and I took my son, and they gave us a whole tour. They're like, you want to come in and check it out? I was like, yeah. And so we went in, and
That's fucking cool.
they're loaded. They got like Lazy Boy.
Yeah.
They got a full gym. It's a newer station.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. It is. It's neat.
Yep.
And I think that's it right there.
There was no pole, though. I was kind of upset.
We don't have a poll either.
Hey, when's the last time you seen a Dalmatian?
Never.
And where the fuck did
Well,
that
actually,
come
I shouldn't
from?
say that. I don't know.
Why is that even a thing?
Back in the day, you always seen the Dalmatian. With
I know
the
they were
fireball. I don't know
actually.
why it was a thing.
It was like a mascot, and I don't know why. That's actually something I should find out as to why a Dalmatian was a mascot
Dude,
for a
he
fire department.
has the best questions ever.
It's actually good to know.
They're
I have to look
extinct
at
now.
it.
Nobody can tell me the last time they seen a Dalmatian.
They're actually becoming extinct.
How the fuck did that come? Really? Jesus. See, the more you know.
It's not a common breed anymore.
That's a lie. That's a goddamn lie.
Look at this right here, right in front of you. Well, it's white now. It's turning white, but it was red.
I don't see anything.
Dude, I don't like my hair, bro. I don't know.
This was cool.
Do you like the beard, bro?
Yeah.
Seriously?
You don't like it, huh? You made him shave? You're a hater.
I didn't make him shave. He shaved.
You look like you on the run from school cops.
She's so G'd up with that fucking beanie on.
She just looks comfy.
She's so beautiful. I love it. I love her new beanie. Do you know what Adidas stands for?
All day I dream about sports.
Yeah, that's it. Sports. Sex. The last word is sex. Mormon. This is the Mormon version. You can edit that out. She heard that the first time. She's like, holy shit. I'm like, yeah. All day long, I dream of sex. It's a thing. It says it. Adidas.
Except there's no all day long because there's no L in it.
Or all day, however it is. I told you I can't spell. I can't read either. So if we're doing this narrating thing, it's got to be laid out.
Yeah.
I got to be able to free, like tattooing. If I get too structured in anything, I panic, bro. I panic. And I used to do, not what you do, a fire thing at all, but run huge crews, building stuff like this, miles and miles of this. I can, with no structure, can run hundreds of people. No problem. Not even a little bit of a problem. But it has to be my structure, which is very lack thereof. Lots of faith in people doing what they're supposed to be doing. Putting the key people in position is all it takes.
Yeah.
Right? A good leader puts a few key people in position. Everything else will follow suit.
Right.
Controlling people control things. Out of control people control things, right? So that's how I feel of it. I don't know how that fire thing works.
You got to know your crew, though. I mean,
Sure.
you have to know their capabilities and what they're comfortable in and what they're not.
They shouldn't be there if they don't belong there.
Exactly.
That's a good leader gets rid of that shit.
Yep, exactly.
Like, you're out, dog. I don't know. That'd be scary, man. But yeah, so I have
Sometimes.
no problem with doing that. But structure, fire, so that might be a thing. Better, good for me. There's no way to. You don't know what the hell's gonna happen.
You don't. Not
That's
at all.
cool. Electricity's just a theory, so I feel you. There's still not. There's a theory. They don't know. We still don't know. It's the same shit that Edison studied back in the day. Bizarre.
Oh, and who knows what his brain was.
Smartest
He
man
was
alive,
crazy.
dude. Nikola, all them dudes are dope, man.
He
We're
was
still
crazy.
following the same stuff. There's nothing new.
No.
Elon's trying to crush it all, but that's it. There ain't nobody that smart. We're still studying the same shit.
What
Do you
we
want anywhere to follow you? Look for you on your Insta, any of that kind of stuff? Your IG? You got any kind of that to throw out there?
No, just Facebook right now. I mean, I'm hoping to grow,
Cool.
and get a little bit more out there. But right now, it's a good start. And I think right now I'm at 103 followers. So
Well, let's
I'm
get that up there.
within, I don't know, like a week and a half. I mean, it's getting there. And the more people that share, the better. And
Yep.
And I wouldn't mind it coming down here, because we might not have the same rules and regulations, restrictions, but the knowledge would be there.
Knowledge is cool.
And the education. So,
It's everything.
yeah.
And your little Facebook thing's right there
Yep.
on the.
Morgan County Wildland.
You can see it in this movie thing screen.
Oh, yeah.
He'll put it in there for you.
Okay.
Cool.
Good deal. Good
He's a
deal.
smart guy.
Yep.
Every day, Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Listen to Dre Rocca on U92. He's a beast. Oh, and Saturdays too?
Yeah, they got me on Saturdays too, so you can. I don't know what hours I'll be working. Typically, I'm 3 to 9. So, just if you're in your car, just tune in for a minute.
Tune in all the time. Everybody
Good
tune
deal.
into him because he gets the ratings, man. Tune into that shit.
For you.
Oh, shit. Post Malone.
We got to get that G up on this show.
I've never even met him, so don't even ask me.
I have a client that met him and didn't even know who he was.
Let's just plan like an operation. Like, yo, we have to come in. We heard there's a fire.
I gotta check. I gotta check your dryer vent.
And then we have to drive you to West Point.
Good point. Yep. Yep.
Dryer vents cause them too, right?
Yep. Yep.
Plugged ones.
Yep. They do.
We'll take good care of him. We'll tattoo him, feed him. He'll be good.
He'll be happy.
He would be happy if he came to the Hammonds. He would be happy.
God, dude, thank you. Preach it.
Yeah, he would.
I'm telling you, man. This dungeon in here, he'd be down.
He'd be trying to weld something.
Getting tattied up in there. He's a blacksmith doing knives and stuff, blades. I can do all that. I can forge. I have all of those things. I'll let him smoke. Posty, you can smoke, bro. You can drink Bud Lights. I'll drink with you. I'll smoke with you. We'll do whatever. Whatever.
Yeah, don't say that.
I'm pretty wide open. I'm not really against anything.
You say
I'm in
that-
this-
You say that now.
I'm in this position in my life where I say yes to everything.
Oh,
Is that weird?
yeah.
You just, yes.
Yeah.
The answer is yes.
You gotta have your limit. You gotta have where you draw a line.
Cocaine.
I've never even seen that shit. So, okay, maybe that would be the line.
I'm like, come on. Somebody's been, hey, kill this guy for me. Would you?
That's why he has the drum out there.
So this is the Harm Barn. Thank you, Bailey Bateman. The Harm Barn. It's a funny episode. You got to watch that. You'll shit. She's funny. She comes in. She's like, so I fucking sat in the drive. You got to watch it. You'll die. I sat in the driveway, and I've never met a more witty human in my life. In the driveway and called, the 10 people I know that are closest to me, told them where I was at, gave them the address, blah, blah, blah. She never even met us before and came to our show. Fuck, it was fire. It was awesome. Awesome episode. But she's like, yeah, I didn't know if I was going to, fucking live through this, or I just showed up and didn't know what was going on. She's funny as dude.
As crazy as he is with did you see the Halloween decorations?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, were you here for Halloween
I
time?
was.
Yo. Christmas is the same. I'm just over the top. Everything is too much. It's me.
No, yeah, it's you.
This is me.
So I don't think it's over the top. It's just who you are.
Let's be a lineman. Let's be a fabricator. Let's do a podcast. Let's do everything. Let's life coach. Look up my life coaching. Damn it. I should just stick with one thing. But that wouldn't be me.
No.
That'd be
it wouldn't be you, and life
DeMarco's
would be
gonna get
so
pissed at me.
boring.
Yeah. Everything we hate about us is what everybody knows us for. That's a thing.
Yeah.
What you want to change, people know you for that. Everything we hate
good
about
point.
you're like, God, I hate this about me. That's what people know about you. The things I bitch about, that's how everybody knows me. So I'm trying to work through that. I teach this, but it's hard to listen to it.
It's hard to listen to your own teachings.
Dude, it's
and
real.
What you preach.
Hypocrisy is a scary thing.
Yep.
That's why you have a burn barrel. Allegedly. Same thing. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I'm not here. I'm just here to educate.
I am more than happy and humbled to have you in my harm barn,
Thank you.
in my lair.
I think it was great. I just like talking about what I do, so
Well, you're really good at what you do. We can tell. I can tell.
thanks.
Because you taught me stuff that I didn't know.
I hope so.
You did.
I hope so.
Not like I know everything. I just didn't. That's just good shit, man. I don't know anything,
Yeah.
but that's cool. You think fire. Pretty simple. No, very complicated.
It's very complicated.
And we scratched it is all I know. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
deeper than that.
No, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Well, I'm glad you came and helped us. Maybe we'll
Thank
do
you.
part 2. We'll get your brother here
Yeah.
so we can get her roses.
And we can always go into more detail about something, specific,
Right.
because there's a lot to talk about.
And I think that's a good idea. And I think with me, I would have to know what those things are because I'm so randomly everywhere. I would have to know what we would have to attack because I would never know.
I'll think about it.
Yeah. We'll do part 2.
No, part duh.
Is it deux?
Duh.
Is that French?
I don't know. It's a movie, Hot Shots, part duh.
Hot shots.
Yeah.
Speaking of, what are you? Are you French? What the hell are you guys? What are roses? Rose.
We are actually Dutch.
Are you Dutch?
Mm-hmm. We're kind of a little bit of everything, but it's more Dutch.
Dude, I'm like 1% of everything there is.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, the Hammonds are like
Well, you're a redhead, so that's kind of a given, right?
Irish.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny joke about that in a minute. I'll keep it PG. Sorry, Dre. Listen to Dre 3 to 7 and Saturday. Ryan Rally Trucking. Thank you once again for being our sponsor. If anybody's interested in ever helping us out with the show, please let us know. Look up our IG, Highline Tattoo Fab on Instagram. That's why that's there. What else do we have? We have another social. I forgot what it is. That's it. We're going to do a 27th hour one eventually. We're not there yet. Kombucha. Drink lots of kombucha. It's good for you. Mama Chari, I think we say it. Mama Chari, we're coming after you. We want to talk. It's good stuff. We're all drinking it. Every one of us is drinking it. Except for you. You're drinking Corona because you support the Corona. Goddamn Corona. It's light, though, so you're good. Rona. It's just a light Rona.
Rona.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And next time we'll have the outro, Landon's music. It's coming. It's dope, too. Everybody, thank you so much. Please look up our stuff. Look up her stuff. Look up his stuff. Look up everybody's stuff. Be nice to everybody. Hug a fireman, for Christ's sake, or an EMT. Hug them. Definitely ask permission. You don't have to ask me permission. If you see me in the streets, we're all over the Smith shopping carts. If you see us out there, come hug me. I like to hug. I'm a hugger. Thanks, Jerry Rocca.
Thank you.
Thanks, Miss Rose.
My pleasure.
Thanks, honey, for putting up with my dumb ass. Be nice to each other. Everybody, love you all.